All right, guys, we're here again with another episode of Next Gen Cast. We've just been freaking waiting for some new news for Metal Gear Solid Delta.
We finally got it.
Yeah, we did. We finally got some new news for Metal Gear Solid Delta since the production hotline, and pretty substantial stuff. I guess this is the first time that we've actually had just some sort of accounts that from people that have actually played the early version of the game. I guess it was the Virtuous mission that people got to play. So that would be, from the very get-go until you get to Sokolov. And,
Wow,
I'm guessing the demo
entire segment, huh?
I think it went right up until right up until you're Snake on the riverbank there, and you're healing yourself. They said that was the part where it cut off, where you're actually like having to,
So they saw the whole the little Davy Crockett bomb go off.
No, that was after you healed yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. So it probably ended right whenever he fell into the water, and that was probably where it ended. But yeah.
Is that demo going to be accessible?
I don't know.
Might
A lot
be.
of people are saying that it will be. It's just speculation, but some accounts say that they're going to release this demo. It's probably going to be at TGS here in a few weeks.
Yeah, it is going to be at TGS for sure.
It is?
Yeah, it
That was
is.
confirmed?
Yes.
Okay.
How the fuck do we get?
I was
How
watching a
access,
video of
dude?
a YouTuber that was saying that he was actually going to go to Japan to go to TGS, and he was a huge Metal Gear fan. But if some shit came up and he had to cancel it, and he's all pissed now that he's not going.
But has it been like actually
have to have some
confirmed
kind
by
I
of
heard
Konami?
that it was confirmed. That's
Okay.
why he's so pissed, is because it was
Okay.
actually confirmed that it was going to be there.
You have to have some kind of like press badge to like
No,
have access
TGS
to-
is open to the public.
Holy shit! Wait, what is it?
September?
It's in about 3 weeks.
Okay,
Yeah.
damn.
Yep, y'all will miss it. So anyway, so we are going to just talk about some of the things that some of the impressions that people had. I guess like a lot of gaming press went out there, which is kind of lame in a way because like I feel like the people, the publications that actually got to freaking test play this game were I don't know, man. The way the game press is these days is just like, I mean, the people have such a bitter taste for these publications. I feel like the gaming community at large like looks at sites like IGN or GameSpot or any of these other type of sites like Kotaku or something, and back in the day whenever they would do these review events where they did like Ground Zeroes or Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, where they invited press to come out and play these games. I mean, it was such a different world back then. I mean, I feel like even back then it was like still like the very beginnings of kind of like the downfall of the gaming journalism.
I'd say around like maybe like what, like
Probably
2013,
20, around the
2014,
Gamergate era. It's whenever obviously everybody started really kind of looking at these gaming journalists with bitter eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for years now, there's even like jokes among like game developers. I think that some games even have like there's like difficulty levels, and like the easiest one is like journalist mode or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously back in those days, that wasn't even a thing. I mean, people have always kind of looked at gaming journalism. Not even, what am I even saying? They really didn't start looking at gaming journalists that way until it started to become really mainstream. I would probably say like in the late 2000s, whenever game sites publications like G4 were doing, E3 Live, and it was just becoming more and more corporate. I want to say I noticed it becoming very, very corporate around 2006. I remember
early, huh?
E3 Live 2005 for G4 was like a very good event and a very good live event that they did. They did very good live coverage of that. They interviewed all these people, and it wasn't like all these paid advertisements and stuff. But now whenever I remember the following year in 2006, it was just like, you could just notice the difference, like big time. And they were just like, oh yeah, just have like Taco Bell ads in the corner and just like, just like so many companies had just like pumped money into freaking advertising for these.
Wasn't there
freaking
like
things.
there was like a meme thing about like Jeff Keighley,
with the Mountain Dew,
and like
Doritos and shit? Yeah, I
They
remember
even like
that.
did a little like Photoshop thing where he had like a Pope hat, but it's like a Dorito or something.
Yeah. Or somebody just my favorite one was they just photoshopped his head to be like the top of a Mountain Dew bottle.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was actually way later. That was probably like in 2010, 2011.
Yeah, I mean, that was whenever it first started, whenever people started kind of having, negative reactions to the gaming press.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've just been kind of noticing that, like, a lot of these, sites that have access to this demo or had access to it were just like people that kind of bashed Konami. They were all like,
dude,
just
if you
taking
watch
Kojima's side on everything.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's still like that. You can literally see. Like, I remember we were in the car on the way here, and we were watching just a video to kind of like just refresh our mind right before we jumped into this podcast, and we were watching a video by IGN and their take on it. It was like, oh yeah, this Kojima-less remake, and they were like within the first 30 seconds they took like 2 jabs at Konami, it's like it's like a lazy remake. They didn't. That's not verbatim, but like they were pretty much like just saying that type of shit. And I was like, man, fuck IGN. Who even gives a shit about IGN anymore? Like, who are they to even say anything about? They are not the freaking the voice of the gaming community at all anymore. Like, and just for them to like come out here and especially now, like, after Konami has just done such a bang up job, like with this remake so far, and just like giving the fans giving them what they
actually
want.
Listening to the fans,
and not the journalists and not the freaking gaming, the gaming industry at large with all of this new like freaking ideology and stuff they want to pump into these games. You have Konami. It's like, oh, this is going to be a very, very faithful remake. To the point where they were actually saying that they were going to not cut anything from the game. Now, like a lot of people have been worried about, and that's one of the things that came out about this game is that they have disclaimers at the very beginning of the game, kind of like they did with Metal Gear HD Collection Legacy. What was it? Master Collection. And they were just basically saying that, there's going to be they want to be completely faithful to the original game as much as they possibly can, as far as the story, the cutscenes, and all the dialogue goes.
Are they going to keep the part of the game where whenever you're, well, I guess it's a spoiler warning. Whenever you're escorting Eva and you go to her like menu, she's like she's like in her underwear and stuff. Are they gonna keep that in the game?
Yeah, apparently.
If
if
they don't keep that in the game, this fucking whole thing is fucked up.
It's all bogus, dude.
Yeah, I think we're at the point now to where people they don't want the censorship. They want to see the games as they were. I mean, the obviously the large majority of gamers out there are still a bunch of dudes that freaking want to see sexy characters.
It's really weird because like, why do we? Like, these games are already rated mature. Like, it's like, why are we having to like water down an experience for a mature audience these days? I mean, can you imagine going to, the theater back in the 90s or the 80s and just like, there's like a rated R movie and then there's, but we have to be sensible to like people that don't like too much blood.
That aren't watching the movie, like people that aren't allowed to watch the movie.
It's like, if you don't,
that boring, those like the guy and a girl just like, they're about to like hook up. It's like they just kind of just don't.
Yeah,
it's like actually, I'm out of here. I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It's just like they're trying to like cater to these sensibilities of people, but it's like it has a mature rating. I mean, like what kind of? I mean, I feel like if you look at the box and it says mature, and if you're not of a mature mindset, then you shouldn't play the game, whether or not you're 18 or not. It's like a mature rating should like include like anything and everything that is you have to expect that there's going to be something in there that could offend you. And if you're like one of these people that are just super easily triggered about anything, from seeing a girl in a bikini to whatever, like
just a fucking sexy
strategic
character.
butt coverings,
I wonder how much of it is a generational thing, because like
it's not a generational thing. I mean, the thing is, it's only a generational thing because we've created it to be a generational thing.
Yeah. Well, like I remember seeing this meme on social media where there was like a picture of like this this fucking, I think this guy tripping and spilling like this coffee, this coffee cup with like this coffee all over like something, and it's like the person spilling the coffee is like the movie studio, and then like the coffee being spilt is like unnecessary sex scenes in movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
And it's like, what shows or TV movies are like this? And it's just like, I mean, dude, it's just I don't know. We've been, at least, in my generation, we've been conditioned that like sex is just like a normal thing. So like, of course, whenever you tell a story, people may or may not have sex. And, it's like,
yeah, if it has a mature rating and it says on there on the box, like, nudity or freaking like, just like sexual freaking, whatever. It's like, don't be offended if you play the game that you bought that has it written on the box,
Yeah.
and just don't play it if you go into it knowing that this type of content is in there.
Yeah.
And of course you're going to get people. I already feel like that we can already expect this with a 100% like guarantee that gaming sites like Kotaku, especially, and IGN and GameSpot are going to be
Kotaku's
coming
still
out.
around?
They're going to be, I guess, I don't know, but like they're going to come out and they're going to be speaking out against this game. You already know it's going to be the case, and there's going to be like, oh yeah, this game fucking, this is.
They decided to not modernize the game to a more sensible era.
What even is modernizing
Dude,
the
I
game
feel
for
like
modernize? It's basically making things that are just like supposed to be like mature, but just making them PG instead, like to where it's like,
Yeah,
game
basically
where you-
it goes
made for
against the whole
kids,
rating
yeah.
system in general.
A game where you have
it's
the
like,
option
if you're going to
of
make a
killing
game
people.
mature, then you're just not making it accessible to people who are sensitive. I'm like,
Game-
well, let's
a game-
think the game isn't made for you. I think games should just be made like if you have an artistic vision that you want to throw out there into the ether, then make it.
And you have
Make it,
and you
then
have a niche
know,
audience that you're
yeah.
trying to target.
Well, it's not even niche. It's like a large audience that are into.
I know, but I'm
fucking,
just
like,
saying, if you have a
if you did
specific,
have
okay,
a
if you have a,
niche
a specific audience that you're targeting with a game, then you should be able to like make this product for that audience.
Yeah, and
like
then-
you can't
and-
just
and-
be
and-
making these games that are just like made for the broadest audience possible. Because if you're gonna make a game that like tries to appease everybody, you're gonna piss somebody off. And
yeah,
it's-
you're really going to appease nobody.
Or,
If
oh
you're-
yeah. If you're gonna piss somebody off, regardless, so you might as well.
Yeah, you might
have
as well
your
just
vision.
stick to your core audience,
Yeah.
And then the thing is with this game, with Metal Gear, they got to stick to the hardcore Metal Gear fans that are already used to seeing freaking Ava in her underwear, or just like pushing the the R1 button to looking first person at her tits or something, So it's like people are already used to that, It's like if they don't appease the original audience, they're gonna set they're basically going to make it to where like it's known that this game is censoring the fucking, they're censoring it.
Yeah.
It's not at all. And then they're going to raise a fuss about it. And then everybody on their, on their YouTube channels is going to be talking about how this game is censored. And,
yeah, dude. Well, the thing is, like,
it's like we've already seen it with fucking Tomb Raider. With the new versions, how they like took off the posters with Lara Croft in the bikini.
Yeah.
We've seen games like Concord and Dustborn absolutely fail because they don't really appeal to. I mean,
they don't appeal to an audience that actually plays these games.
Yeah, they appeal to an audience. They don't appeal to gamers, just like general gamers.
That's a good point right there. They appeal. They don't even appeal to an audience that's even going to play those games in the first place.
Yeah.
And also you have to think about like how many people. I mean, it seems to me that this is just like a vocal minority of people that like are complaining about like, oh, there's too much sex in these games or too much sex in this media or whatever. And it's just like, I mean, yeah, we see like maybe like 50K likes or whatever, but it's like, how many of these people even like want to play these games in the first place?
Yeah, how
they
many
want-
people
they
actually
wanna
have
bitch.
money
They just-
at stake?
They just want to bitch. There's
Yeah.
these types of people that like will never play. They wouldn't have bought the game even if it did appeal to. Or
Yeah, even if it did appeal, yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's at the point to where you have these people that fucking talk shit about these games, and all it does is actually make people go out and want to buy the game even more.
Well, yeah, look at
Yeah.
I mean, I used Dustborn and Concord as an example of absolute failures, but then you have games like Stellar Blade that were had sexy characters,
Yeah.
and fucking game sold,
Yeah.
So it's like even if they don't have the the marketing behind it, that some other games like Star Wars Outlaws has or something,
Yeah.
where they just make unappealing looking characters or whatever, and
Yeah.
those games end up failing or something. I don't know if Star Wars Outlaws has necessarily failed, but I have heard a lot of bad things about it. But I just think that like there's already a track record of games that have sexy characters that sell a shitload of copies. There's games that don't have. I mean, saying that they don't have sexy characters is an understatement. They literally have the most ugly characters possible.
Yeah.
And they sell like shit. So it's like, just make fucking. Who cares? It's just a sexy character. Like I don't know. I just feel like, we're so fucking sensitive. Well, I mean, at least the corporate media thinks that people are so sensitive. Like this modern audience, this imaginary modern audience that they keep talking about. It's like, I don't even think like.
It seems like they're ditching them now.
Yeah, no.
I say save that shit for games that allow you to customize your character and just people are gonna make the character that they want to represent them or whatever. But like so far, like if you're gonna have an established main character or established main characters, dude, like people are gonna want to play as conventionally attractive characters most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's where you're gonna make money. You know?
Yeah, dude. I mean, me personally, dude, do I care to push R1 to see Ava's tits? Not really, dude.
It's kind of just a laughing thing.
It's just a joke.
That in there,
it's a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, if the game came out and it didn't have it in there, I mean, I wouldn't really care that much. But the fact is that I know that a lot of people would.
Yeah.
So it's just like, just keep it in there. Like, I'm not.
Why take it out? She's already in the bikini. You can already rotate around her fucking body or whatever. It's like you can see her body from any angle once you get to that part of the game. So what the fuck is it? What's the point in like taking away the first person looking at
the source
her
code
and
is
shit?
there. Like why make
all they would be doing is just taking it out for an imaginary audience that's not even going to play the game.
And then it would get all this negative press.
Yeah. So I think
we would get a bunch of negative press for people that want to buy the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, just fucking show the game, make her look sexy. That's what her character is.
Well, she's literally there to seduce Snake.
Yeah.
She's there to seduce Snake. And the thing is, it's like, dude, the scene whenever they're behind the waterfall and they're like,
wait, her shirt is open as well. That's
she's just straight up in a bikini in that scene.
No, but like whenever she's like, regular.
Yeah, she's unzipped and everything.
Unzipped. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So like, it's like whatever, dude. I mean, this has been a thing, dude. Yoji Shinkawa, the character designer, says that male or female, he doesn't care. He just wants to create sexy characters. So it's like, yeah, dude. I mean, there's a reason why you see fucking Snake's ass so pronounced in these fucking games. Yeah. It's just like he didn't want a fucking character with a snake with a flat ass.
You're wrong.
Shit.
It's Snake's ass is a power fantasy.
Yeah, dude.
Don't you get it?
Those butt cheeks, dude. He does some squats. He's got a lot of power, dude. Got a lot of power behind those cheeks, dude. But anyway, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, there's that whole thing, and so I don't know. Just kind of going into the actual gameplay elements here, fucking the fucking gaming journalist thing is just like kind of ridiculous that they were the first ones that got to fucking experience this freaking game, but whatever. At least like they were, for the most part, except for IGN, from what I've heard so far, they've actually been pretty like, open to like reporting on this game, pretty unbiased, So like, they did unveil the whole like, the quick select for camo, which is something that we've actually talked about on this podcast for quite a while now. Pretty much ever since we started talking about this game, we were like, dude, they got to do something about the freaking camo index, because like the way that it is in the game is one of my biggest complaints about it, and they actually fucking fixed it, which is crazy, dude.
They listened to us, dude.
They heard our podcast. They listened.
It was definitely a legit, like, I think, we were mentioning on the podcast, and it's like if they actually don't, then I would probably like, I might lean a little bit more onto the side of like it being like a lazy remake. But I mean, the fact that they did is like, it's like such a common sense.
I mean, the thing is, I feel like the camo index being like a quick menu, and you being able to see your like a gauge of like your camo index, being able to access all your camouflage from the D-pad.
Yeah,
all that is just like, I think that's all really cool, and that's something that we wanted. But I think like the fact that they implemented like the control scheme from the Phantom Pain is going to make the game way better, actually.
Yeah.
Insanely. Because I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, man, but look what happened with like Twin Snakes. I was like, yeah, but you have to like think about it really, because like whenever Metal Gear Solid 1 came out, it was severely like handicapped from the player's perspective. Like you couldn't even hang over ledges and like do like first person shooting. It was like very, very basic fucking controls in that first game.
Yeah, there was nothing gameplay wise in MGS1 that was really
holding the game.
Yeah, that was holding the game back. It was really built around those controls, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like MGS3, the game is held back by its controls.
I think so, 100%, because we actually just went back and played it again recently for the first time in a few years. I was like, man, dude, this game really could benefit from like,
some tweaks on the gameplay.
Yeah, from like crouch walking to freaking over the shoulder aiming,
sprinting.
Sprint? Oh, no, I don't know. I think sprinting might be make evasion a little bit too easy, but they haven't said that they're going to include that. So, but yeah, dude, I think that
Do you guys think that it would have been possible on the PS2 to have a quick menu for the camo?
Yeah, of course. Oh, the quick menu for what?
For the
on the PS2?
For the camo?
Yeah, for the camo.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's just all about.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe there was something with the loading, and maybe the DVD, like just the loading that might have slowed it down. But I think if they were to have really put it, have like thought it out, that they could have actually done it.
It's interesting because I mean, I guess that just goes to show about like the ideas at the time. It's like, well, just you have to go through a menu to change your.
Well, you have to think
camo.
that like before MGS3. There was no, I mean, dude, Resident Evil 4 is the game that actually brought the over the shoulder camera. I mean, like we're talking about an era of gaming that like everybody was still figuring out how to like solidify these control schemes. Like for instance, like over the shoulder aiming and first person shooting. I mean, if you go back and play first person shooters before Call of Duty, I mean, they're yeah, exactly. Like you go back and play GoldenEye. Yeah, of course, if you're a seasoned freaking player, it's like easy, but like. I mean, it's just the same thing with me. Whenever I go back and play MGS1, I know how to play it. I played it many, many, many times. So like I can go and I can play it and it's fine, but I can understand that like whenever you go back and play it as a newcomer or, it's definitely not, it's not modern at all. Nope. It's very much an old game. And so is MGS3 at this point. And the thing is, I feel like what they were doing with like the guards and the AI and all this stuff with especially the fact that you didn't have a Soliton radar in MGS3 really makes it a lot harder. And that's where things like a crouch mechanic, a crouch walking mechanic, a dive button, a freaking an over the shoulder aiming system will actually help compensate for the added difficulty of not having a Soliton radar.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we literally played MGS3 and then we went and played MGS2 right after that. And it just like with the Soliton radar just made it so much like it was balanced. Whereas I feel like MGS3 was a little bit less balanced. I mean, at least like from a casual perspective, if of course you want to get into the nitty gritty and shit and just like, be a perfectionist, play in European extreme, of course, our whole argument about like crouch walking and all this stuff being necessary for the game might sound kind of stupid to like veteran players that are like very seasoned.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need that shit. Y'all are just weaklings, but whatever. I mean, like, I don't care. Like, I mean, I mean,
it makes sense because I mean, we are talking about a generation that has, that is accustomed to having these modern like control schemes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like why wouldn't you at least want to broaden your audience and just instead of just having your remake just be totally 100% 1-to-1?
Yeah, dude. I mean, the thing is, like, I mean, here's the thing: is that like. They didn't even have the 3D camera in MGS3.
Right.
They adopted the 3D camera. Okay, so for MGS4, they adopted the 3D camera from Splinter Cell, and they adopted the over-the-shoulder aiming from Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of the norm going forward for third-person, action games, was to have those two mechanics in a lot of them, And
actually, it was actually with MGS4, it was actually very well done. It was actually, I would even say, like, pretty genius because, like, you have that. That 360 camera, that you can switch over to that that over the shoulder camera, but in Resident Evil 4 you're there like
yeah. They incorporated it a lot better. They incorporated the Splinter Cell and the Resident Evil 4, and they kind of made it work, blended it perfectly.
They ripped off. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the thing is about that's the thing about Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence is that whenever they incorporated the 3D camera, they didn't incorporate the over the shoulder aiming from Resident Evil. So it's kind of like
Kojima got motion sickness, and
but
literally the only reason why they didn't incorporate it
was crazy
360 camera at the time.
Yeah, but like the thing is that whenever you had the 3D camera in Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, it didn't break the game. Metal Gear Solid 1. Incorporating controls from Metal Gear Solid 2 broke the game because Metal Gear Solid 1 was just that kind of, limiting the controls.
It is a very, it's a very huge jump compared to just like crouch watching.
Yeah, crouch walking is such a just, all it's going to do is help you play the game the way you want to play it.
It's kind of just the natural instinct that you have to crouch walk in stealth games.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, whenever it's not there, especially in a game like Metal Gear Solid 3 where there's a lot of natural environments and tall grass and stuff, and you just need to crouch a little bit to kind of blend in with the grass and still walk.
Yep.
I mean, you either have to be like running, walking, and then or literally crawling.
Yeah,
you know, that's there's no in between.
Well, the thing is that they already incorporated these two gameplay mechanics into the 3DS version. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They incorporated 3D camera and freaking crouch walking and over the shoulder aiming. And a lot of people were like, "Dude, this is the best version of the game."
Yeah, I know. I saw a video recently of some guy talking about it. He was like, "The 3DS version is the best, even though sometimes it runs at like 10 frames a second. It's literally worth it because of the controls are so much better."
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that the controls are only going to make the gameplay experience like even better because the gameplay, like the level design, is, if anything, it seems like it would be made for that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
So whenever I was playing it recently, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, man, dude, I'm kind of sucking at this shit, you know. And I played it in normal mode, and like I'm used to playing Metal Gear Solid 2, which I think the controls for that game are, you know, they lend very well to that kind of style of like stages, like very kind of interior kind of stages. Like I think the you know, just not having access to crouch walking still works, you know what I'm saying? But whenever you're in a jungle and you're in tall grass and
open environments,
an open environment, and you can't really see, like a lot of the guards are kind of camouflaged and everything.
Yeah.
I think having just the crouch walking, the diving, the, you know, just the type of like, I don't know if they're gonna have, like, you know how you could actually, like in the Phantom Pain, how you could push, like hold in the R3 button and it would kind of zoom in on the guards or whatever.
Yeah.
I think if they add that, that's gonna help a shitload too.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing that kind of sucks though, thing is, it does make sense, you know, what you're saying. The only thing is that like the artistic side of it kind of takes a little bit of a hit because you know, I might have mentioned this a bunch of times before in past episodes, but like that's one of the things that I really love about like the old games, like say, you know, the PlayStation Final Fantasies or even Final Fantasy X, or you know, like the Capcom survival horror games, is that like you have these fixed cameras, and I mean, yeah, in Metal Gear, you know, up to Metal Gear Solid 3, you have these fixed cameras. So like you have the director's vision of like, you know, and to me, you know, it adds that sort of like cinematic experience to where like you're navigating these like levels with these like really cool, like, you know, directed camera angles and just like, you know, and it adds to that experience. But unfortunately, well, you know, if you don't see what's in front of you, that can take a, you know, your effectiveness as a
it does kind of hurt the gameplay overall, but it does you know, offer a more cinematic experience, which, you know, this remake offers both. You can play it in the original camera angles, so
it's true.
Play the legacy mode. I think it adds to the replay value because I'll probably check out both modes. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like if I start with a new mode and then I go back to legacy, it's probably I'm gonna feel really handicapped though.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so fucking this sounds like this game is it just has everything.
Yeah, no. So not only that, but they're actually adding new stuff. Like, you know, aside from the quick access camo, they actually have like mud that actually affects your camo for better or for worse, depending on the. I'm pretty sure if you're like, say, if you have like a brick camo on, right, and you're like crawling in some mud and you're all muddy, I'm pretty sure your camo index will go up because you're actually in the mud. And guard will see less likely to see you, even though you're wearing a ridiculous camo. But you have mud, so maybe from far away they won't see you still. But if as opposed to you having no mud on you and still being that brick camo, you know what I'm saying? It's actually pretty cool.
And that wasn't in the original game, right?
No, not at all. No,
so I wonder
there was no mud at all on you.
If they're gonna keep it in the original game layout, the original game, you know, level design, I wonder how it's going to fit into the gameplay.
Yeah, kind of. I was wondering why they kept showing that mud. You know, like how they had this whole new mud system, and your character gets all muddy. I was wondering, like, man, are they just doing that just for the hell of it? You know, but it's actually gameplay. You know, that actually does affect the gameplay, which is awesome. Like, it just tells me that it's not just some fucking lazy 1-to-1 remake and shit.
How would it take away from your camo index?
What do you mean? Like if you're wearing like, you know, like maybe like an interior type of camo,
and you're all muddy,
and you're muddy, and like it would probably make it. Like,
can you get rid of them? I wonder if you can get rid of the mud.
You just shake your controller. And
no, maybe if you spin your character in the menu, like you vomit and shit.
You vomit, and then the vomit's gonna take over. It'll raise your camo index.
Just gives you a little extra green.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, another thing was the. I just wonder, like, with this quick. Okay, so they have quick camo index. You just literally push up on the D-pad, and you have access to your camo index, which is so fucking awesome. That actually makes me like really want to, because here's the thing, like whenever I was playing the game originally, like I would change my camos quite often, but like not as much as I would now that they have this. I'm gonna be changing my camos all the time because I can do it in fucking quick, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you could have a quick codec also. So if you press either right or left on the D-pad, you get like to just do codec calls while you're still playing the game, and which is really cool.
I wonder if they're wait. Did they mention anything about like the medical stuff?
No, not yet. That was actually a point
I did hear about that. They said that
a quick medical thing.
No, there's not a quick medical. You still have to go into the menu to do the medical.
I think
stuff.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does
that
make
makes
sense.
Well, they have the whole like X-ray thing and shit.
Yeah, no, you gotta actually tend to your wounds and shit, and actually spend some time doing that shit.
Yeah, if it was so easy to just like just quickly like take care of everything, like why even have it there? Just have a ration.
Very true. They also now have the life bar at the bottom, which is, I don't know, I'm kind of impartial about that. Don't really have an
it's also
opinion,
your life bar and your camo index that are at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, some people were suggesting that maybe you could, it'd be optional. You could like put it in whatever quadrant you want, or top, bottom, whatever, which would be cool. I don't really have a preference, but
top left or something.
I'm not gonna lie, I do like the medical. I like doing the medical stuff in that game, like going through like the different like injuries and just like using the right like the take the bullet out with the knife and like use the ointment and like use a splint, and it's like I don't know, there's something about it that I actually do enjoy.
It's therapeutic.
Makes you want to get cut up in real life so you can do it in real.
Literally therapeutic, dude. You're providing physical therapy and
makes you feel better.
Yeah. Do some ASMR streams with just like, oh, we're gonna take care of Snake here. We're just gonna go ahead and take care of his like splint and just like
Yeah, dude. What if they amped it up and they like you got a back injury and just got to do like planks for like freaking like 30 seconds or something at a time? Fucking stupid. But yeah, they also said that they're still gonna. Here's what I think, because they said that they're still going to fade to black between areas, because if they actually made the areas seamless, that it would actually break the game and they would have to have pretty much remade the entire game from scratch.
Maybe I'm older, but like I struggle to find people that would actually find that to be like a straight up deal breaker.
Well, here's the thing: whenever you went to certain areas, like it did take a minute to load, not a minute, but like maybe like 5 seconds or something. So it was like it would fade to black and then it's. But I think what's going to happen in this one is going to fade to black for like a second. Yeah. And it's going to load the new area. The text will still be there and you'll know what area you're in. Yeah. But it's going to be a way quicker process just in general.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, I can appreciate the idea of everything being totally seamless. That'd be cool as fuck. But not having that, it's not a deal breaker.
It kind of makes it seem like each area is less significant, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I feel like whenever you walk into a new area and it's actually labeled and everything, and you know exactly where you're at, I feel like that does kind of have more significance for that area.
It does. Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad they kept that. And that they're at least going to speed it up with the freaking, the loading time, because there's not going to be any loading time. It's going to fade to black probably.
It's literally going to be probably like a second, like maybe 2 seconds at most. And I don't really see that being a problem at all. That's something that, I would have been interested to see, like if they would have done it seamless, but it's not a deal breaker for me. It's not even really a bad thing.
Yeah.
You want to know what a deal breaker is for me though?
What?
Not being able to hold in my piss anymore whenever I'm watching a cutscene. They're gonna have pausable cutscenes. Fuck that shit, dude. No, I'm just joking. I know that. So they have pausable cutscenes now and pausable codec calls, which is crazy.
After 30 years.
Yeah, I know. After that long, we finally get
Holy
pausable codec
shit.
scenes. Remember you were telling me earlier, it's like, yeah, remember you could pause the cutscenes or the codec calls.
Technically,
but you then at that point you'd have to just push X to read it.
Push X to read it for the rest of the way there. Yeah.
Oh
my god.
How they went this long without adding that feature blows my freaking mind, dude. Like, what the hell?
They just wanted you to force you to be immersed in that codec call, I guess.
That's ridiculous.
But it's like, why not just pause it?
Hey, you know what? Maybe Raiden had to take a piss too the whole time when he was listening.
Exactly.
To that. Whenever the Patriots were talking to him, maybe he was just like, his bladder was out of control, and he.
Maybe Liquid had fucking take a piss break after showing off his sunglasses, man. Who fucking knows?
You just never know, dude.
fucking. Okay,
But anyway, that's an obvious win here. I mean,
Yes.
the fact that they're freaking bringing bringing that feature, because they did have it in MGS4. I think was the first game we actually paused the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal. I remember, we definitely paused the cutscenes whenever we needed
It
to.
doesn't even seem like it would be that hard to just code in the game.
just like a
pause?
master pause.
Yeah.
Oh, over the entire game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it just makes no
Or
sense.
just at least the cutscenes, or the codec. I mean, it's not that hard.
Yeah, you should be able to just do a hard pause on the entire freaking experience.
Yeah, I know.
That should have been at the very top layer of the entire freaking thing.
Yeah.
But they just never added it. I'm like, dude, really? Stupid.
It's really stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. It was like something that just baffled me about like how they've done these games in the past, and I don't know. But yeah, they also have a new compass for newbies that don't know if they're going north or south.
That's a deal breaker.
I mean,
dude.
here's the thing though, is that like if you're playing in the legacy mode, you don't really need a compass.
No, not at all.
But like a lot of these new players that are playing the game, they're going to be playing with a 3D camera, and they're going to need to know
Well,
where
they don't
they're
know
going.
the maps like
The
we
thing
do.
is, like, I'm not gonna lie. There's sometimes whenever you're like in the thick of the jungle, like even whenever I played MGS3, like I kind of got lost sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Especially whenever you're kind of in the heat of the evasion or something like that, and you just kind of like trying to
Lose your
escape.
sense of direction
you
and
kind of
shit?
lose your sense of
Well,
direction.
so this is literally just a compass, though, right?
Yeah, it's just in the screen, the top
I'll
corner.
just
I
tell
guess.
you where you're going.
Okay, no, that's no problem with
I
that.
know.
mean,
I mean, it's like literally just an extra feature that makes it easier to
why
navigate.
why
where you're
wouldn't a
going.
soldier have a compass on him?
I think
Yeah.
they literally just did the obvious thing. It's like, okay, the 3D camera, people lost a sense of direction whenever Subsistence came out. Let's fucking add a compass in there so people don't lose their sense of direction. It's as easy as that. It's like pretty much just like, okay, better to have it there than not to have it there.
Can you switch with the legacy mode and the modern mode like on the fly, or do you have to like?
I don't know.
set
I don't
that?
think
I don't
so.
think so.
I don't
Okay.
think you
You
can.
might have to go either into a menu or you might need to
Hmm.
actually start a game like that.
Okay.
I really hope that it's, as easy as it was in Subsistence to go from the 3D camera to the new camera. But I don't think it's going to be that way because there's actually certain gameplay elements that have to change, like the entire fucking, control scheme. There's the color grading. Well, I don't even know if the color grading is.
Yeah, I think they said that was going to be
Yeah.
accessible in both modes. So I think
Yeah.
it's something you just pick early on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
another
but the-
thing is the what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say the compass is an obvious, just like plus, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's a good thing. Obviously it's not going to hurt the game at all. It's only going to
I'm
help.
gonna be honest. I might be using that because
Yeah, no,
I'm
same
used.
here.
I'm used to the legacy control scheme, obviously.
yeah.
So, what mode
Wait,
are
you
you
said
guys
you're
going
going to use the legacy
Oh, I'm
control
going to play
scheme?
the new mode for sure.
The new mode
Absolutely.
first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited about
Definitely
playing the new
about
mode,
the,
actually.
yeah. After playing MGS3 a couple of weeks ago and like kind of sucking at it, like just I literally played all the way up until we got Sokolov. I played the entire Virtuous mission,
Okay.
and I was doing terribly. It's like damn, and then I played MGS2, and I was just like fucking doing awesome. But I just feel like MGS2's control scheme actually works really well with that game compared to MGS3. I feel like MGS2 is kind of weirdly like aged better for some reason. I think it might be with the Sultan radar or just
Solaton radar for one thing.
yeah, and then also like just
also you're just
like
in a
I
more
was saying before, I think
industrial,
that
like-
those types of controls work really well for interior environments.
yeah.
But when you're in the jungle, I think the new control scheme it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna
Yeah,
work way
I
better.
mean, I guess it's not very fun. Well, it was fun, but like you just going into first person mode every 5 seconds when you're going around and like use your radar. What is it? It's just a regular radar, I guess, right? Whenever you click on the button and like it does like a little it's your sonar radar, and you use your sonar radar, and then you see that dot, and then you have to go into first person to see what it is, whether it's an animal or if it's a guard. So like, I guess I wonder though, would you need your sonar as much if you have that like 360 camera?
I think you
Well,
would.
dude,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, we were playing with the 360 camera, and we were using the sonar, and it was
Okay.
just, I mean, yeah, dude, the fucking, yeah, helps.
I didn't hear anything about tagging enemies, so I don't think you're gonna be able to do that in this game.
No, I don't think that would be a really dumb thing.
You think it
They're not
would
gonna
be
do that.
overkill?
That was something with the solid eye shit, or not even solid eye.
no,
but
it was not.
with the gizmo that you had in Ground Zeroes. Remember what was that thing? The iDroid.
Yeah.
That was an iDroid thing.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then again, oh no. Okay, no, that's after that game. So I guess it makes sense to not be able to not have that in MGS3.
Yeah. No, I see. The thing is, they know what they're doing. They know that they fucked up with Twin Snakes and that they incorporated too many controls from Twin Snakes.
Yeah.
Or from MGS2 into Twin Snakes. But the thing is, like this time, I know that they know. Oh yeah, we can't call a helicopter in MGS3.
Yeah,
you know,
you're not going to be able to sprint.
They're not putting
You're not
things
going to be
in
able
there.
to tag enemies. You're
Yeah.
not going to be able to use your fucking. You're not going to be able to fire your fucking rocket arm or whatever.
I always thought, well, so you're using your iDroid to tag enemies. I guess that makes sense. I always thought of it as more of like a mental thing. He's got such a good memory. He's able to like memorize the path. He's able to see like where everybody's at, and he's able to tag those enemies. But then again, I mean, I guess that would be overkill gameplay wise.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's kind of the whole beauty of the game is that like you are kind of put in there as if you're in the 60s with that technology. Like I'm not necessarily against like removing the Soliton radar from the game. I just feel like they should have balanced it better by actually having
Giving
like
you
more
better controls.
Yeah, better controls to actually navigate yourself through that
Yeah.
and to help balance it. But like, you know,
Did they have an AP sensor in that game too?
didn't they? Like a heartbeat monitor?
I'm not sure. I know they had two different. They had a sonar and they had. What else was it? I can't remember. They had.
some
Yeah, it
sonar
was.
and I forgot. What kind of Metal Gear fans are we, dude?
We just fucking quit the podcast right now, dude. Fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, the Raiden mask is back. If you select MGS, I like MGS2 at the beginning. They have that in there still.
Is there a way to disguise yourself as Rykov if you don't get that mask?
In
the beginning?
I don't
I've always
think so.
wondered about that.
Actually, I don't. I think the only way you could get it is if you put I like MGS2, right?
So I guess we got to do that then, huh?
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
I wonder.
Well, I mean,
Like,
it's
you
the
know,
truth.
they also
you
did,
don't have to do that either. You know?
They also did
You don't have to
add,
disguise yourself.
like I like Peace Walker and I like MGS4. They actually added those to this Delta remake. So
What the
I don't know what those are going to
Are
actually.
you gonna get the big boss like skull if you put in?
Maybe if you put I like MGS4, you'll get automatic camo switching.
Octocam?
No, there's no way. I know there's a Raiden mask in the game, regardless of whether or not you pick that, because that was part of the story. Remember when Vulcan came in? He's like, "Ooh,
Right.
yeah." No, of course, the Raiden mask is going to be in there regardless.
So you have to find it then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I remember that was something you had to do. I think it was part of the sneaking of the scientist outfit
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
You
I
have
don't
to be
know.
a scientist, or maybe as a scientist you're supposed to seduce Volgan. I don't know.
a new segment they had,
Yeah,
seducing Vulcan.
little dating session with Volgan.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell the I like MGS4 is going to add though. Cyborg
Maybe
Raiden?
this will get a old Snake mask or something. I don't know.
You're gonna get like you're gonna get the solidest like skeleton with like the fucking flesh.
God, that would be crazy as shit.
I
You'll
can't
just,
believe
you'll just play as the fucking little like carcass fucking thing.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like Fighters Mega Mix
Just
where he
like-
plays the card. He's just like walking.
floating around and shit.
Yeah, it'd be fine. It's like Fighters Mega Mix when you play as the
you're
card.
the car or
yeah.
something.
Yeah,
You just play as like
yeah, dude. He's just like walking around like God, dude. We need to make this
like, the
greatest soldier that ever lived, dude.
You do the his camo, and then like it zooms in on his face for the war paint.
God,
I-
just on his muscle tissue and shit.
The geisha.
God, dude, fucking ridiculous. Yeah, dude. I guess there's a release date announcement.
Wait, is there really?
No, there's an announcement that there's going to be an announcement.
But it said that they're going to release. They said they're going to reveal
Announce.
the release date by the end of the year, which means that it's not coming
Wow.
out this year.
Which we already kind of knew.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the thing is, here's the thing about like them not releasing. I've actually kind of been hoping that they don't release the game this year because I can wait another year You know what I'm saying? As long as they get it right.
Mhm.
I really just, at this point, I think they know that like they have to get this right or else they're going to get the fucking heat from the fans and then they're going to just like screw up their chances of even like reviving this entire franchise. This is going to be something for them to prove themselves. And if they just release it unfinished, like they did the Master Collection, it's game over for them.
Mhm.
So it's, you know, it's,
I mean, in an era where games take like 10 plus years to make, I mean, when was this announced?
what?
When
Delta?
was- yeah,
Probably not even a year ago?
I would say a little bit over a year ago.
Yeah, probably about a year ago. I want to say now.
So like,
Wasn't
I
it
mean,
TGS? No.
Probably, yeah, which is about a year ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude. I mean, but yeah, it's nothing. You know, if it gets released in 2025, you know, that's great. It's fine. Not even a problem.
Yeah, I mean, apparently they're already working on an MGS1 remake from like rumors that I've heard.
Mhm.
So I think like if they are, then they got to make sure that this one is
For real
released
this time?
and it's done right whenever it's
Yeah.
at the release. So, you know, yeah, I just want them to take their time. I don't want them to screw it up because I want to play fucking MGS1 and 2 remakes, and I'm just really looking forward to those. And
I want a Metal Gear, like an actual Metal Gear remake, and I want it to take place right after Delta, dude.
no,
And then I want Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. No. I want just Metal Gear 2, the one that they released like on the NES, a remake
No,
of
that was on
that
MSX, dude. Get your fucking facts straight. But yeah, what you want this game as is? We want the Metal Gear 1 remake to be fully fledged, but you want the Metal Gear 2 remake to just be a verbatim freaking
For
like
just
same graphics and everything.
no, just re-release the game.
There you go.
Just re-release the game, dude.
True sequel.
Only on MSX too.
It's the truest sequel that you could ever.
You need
imagine,
to
dude.
you need to travel to Japan, go to Super Potato, get an MSX machine, and that's how you play it.
That would be so fucking stupid, dude. That would be so ridiculous. It's the way Hideo Kojima intended. Speaking of Hideo Kojima,
Uh-huh.
they announced that they're gonna have they have his name in the credits. It's once directed by Hideo Kojima. Now it says originally directed by Hideo
originally.
Kojima.
Okay, originally directed by.
At one point, directed by Hideo Kojima. Yeah, so they give him credit, not for this version, obviously, but they do give him
Oh,
credit.
okay. So they throw him a bone.
Mm-hmm.
They throw this
This fuel.
this artiste. They decided to give him a bone and just
Hideo Kojima finally has his bone.
the dog finally had his bone, dude.
Yeah, we were just talking about how they said that they announced that they'll have like once directed by Hideo Kojima, originally directed by
version, yeah.
Hideo Kojima.
Original version.
So yeah, now all
once-
you freaking haters out there, that like Young, yeah, and all these fucking people. Oh, shots fired at you, Young. But yeah, dude, fucking, I don't know, like it's just these people that just. They actually thought that Konami was going to take his name off the game that he like created for some reason. Some of these people were just so dumb that they thought that Konami was literally going to do that.
Well, I feel like, you kind of give them an inch and then they take a mile. So now they're like demanding that Kojima be like an advisor or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you just.
Do you realize though that if they were to actually have brought on Kojima as an advisor, that he would have actually just straight up like changed things about the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably would have told him to take out shit,
Yeah.
censor the game and shit, just because like he wants his version to be the fucking best version. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, actually, I would actually say for these remakes at least, maybe if they actually end up doing an MGS6 and they bring him on as an advisor of sorts, then yeah, that would work for something new. But for like these remakes, it actually needs to be verbatim to the way they were. They're way too beloved games, way too beloved for them to be tampered with. Like, I feel like the way that they're handling this remake is absolutely 100% the best way to do a remake of a Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah. You can't handle it like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2. I mean, those remakes are great for what they are, but you can't remake Metal Gear in that same kind of fashion because.
Well, also you have to. One thing that I haven't really considered. We've talked about this before, and after thinking about it, I realized, dude, all of those games, Final Fantasy VII, Resident Evil 2 and 3,
And 4.
they're literally just like they're PS1 games.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like,
Okay,
okay,
the PS1 era was just, it was the infancy of 3D technology in
Yeah.
video games. So it's like, obviously those games are going to fucking have like way harder of a time adapting to like new remakes.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like simply update the graphics. Like for MGS1, yeah, they're not going to be able to do what they're doing here. Like there's a, whenever they eventually release that, I don't know if they're going to nail it like they did this one. I feel like MGS3 was just like the easiest layup for them, because it was so apparent like what they needed to do to actually create a remake. All they had to do was update the graphics. The cutscenes were already good enough.
yeah,
They just had to add lips. They just needed to add lip sync.
yeah.
They needed to add some new gameplay features to modernize it.
which they already had the code for.
Yeah. So I'm just like, dude, yeah, this one was like the easiest layup. Now the feature ones are going to be a little bit harder. Like even MGS2 is going to be harder.
Well, I think with the success of this game, they're going to have the funds to be able to actually make
Yeah.
those into like full remakes, you
Yeah.
know, especially MGS1. That's the only one that I think that needs a freaking huge makeover.
Oh, yeah.
But like MGS2, I feel like, you know, they could kind of take the approach with Metal Gear Solid 3 that they're doing.
Yeah.
That one could definitely be closer to the original, you know, but
Which game came out first?
2 came out before 3.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just kidding.
Resident Evil 4 or
MGS3.
MGS3.
They came out the same month.
the same month?
Yeah.
Oh wow, so it's out in the same month.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think it was November 2003 or
Might
something.
be a little
like
bit of a chink in my my statement then, because they remade 4, but I don't know. The thing is, not every remake has to be like 4 where they like,
well,
they
that's
change.
kind of what I was saying. Cause you know, like they, you know, those Resident Evil games, I mean, even though they were like probably some of the most groundbreaking games, like Resident Evil 4, I felt like laid the groundwork
Yeah.
for the over the shoulder camera.
Mhm.
And so that game literally changed video games forever.
Yeah.
You know? So for them to like, you know, I don't know, it's just something about Resident Evil 4 that like it's not as like cherished as like Metal Gear Solid, any of the Metal Gear Solid games, as far as like just because you know you have this like auteur director like Kojima that's just like so fucking like I don't know praised, and you know it's like
see-
yeah Shinji Mikami directed Resident Evil 4
I see what you're saying.
and like you know but I feel like people don't really like they I don't know, it's just kind of a weird thing where you know you have
because
Metal Gear
RE4
is like people will fucking
RE4
raise hell.
It's a
if
very
people-
good game.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
yeah, no, it
it's
is.
very-
It is.
it
But
is
the
a very
thing
good
is,
game.
like that game is more easily updatable. You know what I'm saying? It would lend itself more to a full remake.
Mhm.
You know, and people wouldn't complain if they changed shit as much as if they changed Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Because that game, obviously, Metal Gear had a way deeper story, way fucking more fleshed out cutscenes. You know,
I'd
the
say so,
codex
yeah.
and like the gameplay was deeper in a lot of ways. Even though it didn't really like resonate as much in the game industry as Resident Evil 4 did with the control
Mm-hmm.
schemes. But you know, I think Resident Evil 4 just lends itself way better to just a modern remake
Yeah.
than MGS3 does. Because I think even you know Metal Gear Solid 3 is being remade like it is being remade with a new control scheme even, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
that's really all it needs. The story, the cutscenes, like a lot of the level design.
It was masterly crafted,
you
dude.
can't really like just remake that from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? You can, but it's just like
Well,
people would raise hell about it if they did, if they took too many creative
you
liberties.
know what? I do agree with you, Brian, because I mean, as good as the game at RE4 is, like you look at the cutscenes, not to knock the original director or like the,
Shinji
you know,
Mikami, the legend.
the legend, but I mean, it's not quite as cinematic as Metal Gear Solid 3.
No, it's not as cinematic as any of the Metal Gear games. I would even argue that it's not even as cinematic as Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah, so I guess you know, I guess I would agree that it does lend itself to like you know it has way more room to be modernized than MGS3 would be, because in that sense MGS3 did age better in that sense,
Yeah.
in a way that like you know it doesn't really have to be updated like you know the only way that it has to be updated in like you know in certain gameplay elements.
Yeah, even the maps 1-to-1, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of the freaking areas are just like 1-to-1 created. All they need to do is just basically just update the control schemes.
Mhm.
That's really it. and that's what they're doing. They're not even, from what I know, they're not really updating the AI. They might, but I don't think
Pretty sure they're going to update the AI a little bit.
But it's just, it's already kind of written and it works. I mean, I didn't
From what I heard is that like all of the fucking like physics of like the kind of quirkiness of like how you can just like do some of these ridiculous fucking things with the guards and like stack them and fucking like
all
have them
that's
fall off
remaining?
the roofs and they fall and hit each other and shit.
all that's remaining.
Yeah, all that's like staying in there.
Okay.
Apparently, from what I heard. So
Good.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about this? Freaking, they have a performance mode and a what do they call it? The 30 frames per second mode and
Yeah,
the
it's
60
just it's a performance mode and a
The more options, the better.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like especially for console. I mean, the thing is, like everybody that I've heard talk about this is like, in a game with a game in 2024, this is like an obvious fucking thing. Like,
yeah, you can't even release a game without a performance mode anymore. I feel like it's just like a must.
Yeah,
like
people have to have their 60 frames per second.
yeah, dude, and I completely agree.
Yeah.
Like I'm
definitely one of those people.
yeah. Oh, fidelity mode and performance mode.
I would probably play it in fidelity mode, but I don't really mind the 30 frames per second because that's what the game was originally made with. But I think
I myself on PS5 would probably play it in fidelity mode too.
yeah, I know that's what I'm saying. But
Like-
we're gonna play it on PC, so we're gonna get
Yeah.
the best of both.
Yeah.
But
so there's
it's-
the PC gamers are in for a treat because we're gonna
Oh,
get
yeah.
the best of both worlds. It's obviously gonna have 60 frames per second with
Fidelity?
fidelity, and probably even
So
more
there's fidelity mode and performance mode, and there's like the master race mode.
Yes, exactly. But I'm pretty sure the master race mode is going to even have like added things.
Yeah, like they did with Phantom Pain and Ground Zeroes.
Yeah,
like
I'm pretty
with
sure the draw
reflections.
distance or the anisotropic filtering or whatever, the pop in is all going to be reduced even more so on the PC. The PC version is going to be a fucking very, very
Yeah, I think
pretty
everything
game.
that we've seen so far is actually the PS5. I don't even know if we've even seen the PC version yet.
Man, I really can't wait, dude.
I really hope it
can't wait.
releases like the same day as the console version.
Well, if it doesn't, whatever, we'll wait. But like,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not gonna buy a PS5 just for
to
this.
play that
Yeah,
game,
I probably will buy a new PC for this game.
But
though.
it is really good that they're at least offering this option. Obviously, whenever they released the game in 30 frames per second back in 2003, I remember thinking, I was like, yeah, that kind of sucks, especially since we got spoiled with Metal Gear Solid 2 being as graphically freaking, profound as it was and still running in 60 frames per second. I remember just being freaking blown away, and then Metal Gear Solid 3 comes along and it's like in 30. And the thing is, the original trailers that they showed at E3, what was it, 2002, 2003, the trailer was actually in 60 frames per second. So they were targeting 60 frames per second initially, but when the game finally came out, it just was straight up 30 frames per second. And I don't even think we knew that until we actually played the demo. Remember that? Remember
Yeah,
the demo
yeah.
that came with PlayStation
Yep,
Magazine?
I remember that,
And we're
yeah.
like, we were hoping that it was going to be 60, and we were thinking that it was going to be 60. Then when we saw that it was 30, we're like, oh man.
I don't think
and
we.
then I
I
remember
think
we even had a slight amount of hope that they were going to update it to support 60 by the time the actual game came out, but it just didn't. So
Yeah, I didn't really get my hopes up too much for that because all the trailers were actually 30 frames per second.
After
The
that
the only
first
one
one?
that was 60 was the first trailer,
Yeah.
and that was like just a tech demo, more or less.
Yeah.
Remember whenever they were coming out with these like MGS4 trailers, they were like 15 frames per second or some shit.
Oh yeah, well no, here's the crazy thing about that. The first trailer for MGS4 was
Yeah,
60
yeah,
frames
no,
per
I
second.
was literally just
The
about to
one
mention
was,
that.
yeah, and then the very next trailer at TGS about a
Yeah,
year
we gotta
later.
be a little bit more honest about what we're doing.
No, it was actually at E3. So it was a year later. So they unveiled it at E3, and then the E3 the year later they showed a version that was just so freaking like
It was very,
Yeah,
very
dude. I mean, the
choppy.
thing is, like, the version of MGS4 that they showed at TGS when they unveiled the game, the shadows looked way better. It was more of a tech demo, and they had like etched shadows where it was like, you can actually see the shadows like extremely high res on Snake's face, like the self shadowing from his nose and his
Yeah.
lips and whatever, his ears, whatever.
yeah. Then they moved away from a stencil shadow, and they freaking went to like a I forgot what they call it, like a diffuse shadow or something. I don't know. But
Some
anyway,
pixelated shadows.
Yeah, the pixelated shadow is more precise for sure. Yeah, you know what the crazy thing about MGS4 is? Just to kind of get off topic a little bit, but the MGS4 really didn't utilize baked lighting anywhere near as much as MGS1 or 2 or 3. And because of that, because they were just relying on the actual lighting engine to create all the shadows for them in the actual stages.
so it was actually dynamic?
Yeah, in MGS4 it was, but it looked like shit. It looked so bad, especially compared to the reveal trailer. And that was like probably my least favorite thing about the graphics in that game. And what really sucks about that is that because they added that feature and just didn't bake in the shadows and the actual textures, is that that's what made the game run at such a low frame rate. So they were just, and the thing is, once you commit to like, we're going to use baked lighting and baked shadows, that is something that's a decision you make very, very early on before production really even starts. Because you have to create the textures with the baked shadows in the freaking textures.
Yeah.
So if you're going to like, create a whole lighting system where the shadows are built into the stage in real time, you can't just be like, oh God, we're halfway through development. We should probably go back to the baked shadows. They had to just cut their losses basically.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of definitely hurt the way the game looked, especially in the in Europe. Mm-hmm. Whenever there was not really very many like baked shadows at all in that area.
Yeah.
And there was no like direct sunlight in that area like there was in the Middle East or in South America.
Yeah.
So you didn't really get any really good looking shadows in
Is that because of
Europe.
the multiple light sources or?
Yeah, well the thing is you have to see like, all of the shadows in Europe
From the lights.
from the lights, the street lights and stuff like that. And they didn't really have like baked shadows in that area. They probably did to some degree, but it wasn't as like realistic looking as MGS2.
Not even close.
Yeah.
MGS2 had
But
very
even
good
like,
baked shadows.
say if you're in like South America and you're like fighting the octopus, like that whole cabin that you're in, it doesn't have any like baked shadows at all. And it looks like really bad compared to like if you just go outside and you see all the real-time shadows.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
So I guess that was just like the actual like transition between like, like sculpted, just like, directed, just like baked in shadows versus something that's more dynamic, but like you don't really have as much experience with that. So it's not,
Well, yeah, and
Yeah,
also
well, the
it
thing
just
is that
looked
with those baked with the real time lighting, it was only one source. Like you said, it was all coming from the sunlight.
Yeah.
So it was just one source of light baking, or it wasn't baking the shadow, but just creating the shadows.
Baking the shadows.
So whenever you went into an interior location,
Mm-hmm.
the shadows just weren't.
God,
there.
I really think they should have just fucking used stencil shadows for the fucking game instead of
Probably
whatever,
was,
the ones that
I mean, the thing is, they probably could have gotten away with it too.
The thing is, I hear that
wasn't for
stencil shadows are way less resource intensive.
They were resource intensive enough for them not to use them in Halo 2.
Yeah,
But
but that was an Xbox fucking.
that was an
was a
Xbox One.
crazy
Yeah, that was a
video.
generation before.
Yeah.
So they took the stencil shadows out of that game, and then it suffered as a consequence.
Yeah.
That was yet again just another like example of like just they solidified the idea that they were going to use stencil shadows throughout the entire game, and then like somewhere in development they were like, we can't do it, it's too resource intensive.
Yeah.
And then so they had to freaking remove it, and they'd already created all the assets, so they just have like a muddy looking game. I mean, the game still looks good, in some regard to even considering, but
you have a game like Doom 3 that pioneered the stencil shadows.
that's the thing, is that they actually kept the stencil shadows in Doom 3 on Xbox because of the closed.
Yeah.
Is there a
corridors.
difference- is there a difference between baked shadows and stencil shadows?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Stencil shadows are basically like
super high res, like they're basically the same
they're
resolution.
basically like
that the game is running.
vectorized shadows that are just
You
super
can
hard.
still move the light source, but and then the shadows will change. But you see like my shadow here, right?
Mm-hmm.
See how my shadow on the table is kind of blurry, and then
Yeah.
whenever I get closer, it's like sharper.
Yeah.
Stencil shadows don't do that.
It's just
So
it's
it's
just sharp.
It's just sharp,
completely sharp.
100% of the
So
time.
it works for things like, but the thing is, they look good. They look better than what they did in MGS4. That's for damn
yeah,
sure.
that's why I was saying I wish they would have just used stencil shadows for that game instead of whatever they did.
God,
Because
the thing is, if they already have used stencil shadows, they probably could have added a little bit, like maybe a couple more light sources in the freaking stages, like in the interior, like the cabin that you were talking about.
Yeah.
They probably could have had like, maybe one main light source with like a couple of other light sources in there too to add shadows. But whatever.
there's different. I mean, I feel like stencil shadows maybe don't look as realistic as like what they ended up using, but the fucking shadows are just a pixelated mess in the final game.
Yeah,
And
they
it's almost
literally
like more distracting.
looked better in MGS2 than they did in 4.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
100%.
Like-
Yeah,
God, I mean, I don't know. See, the
I feel like
MGS2 just had it down. I feel like they just struck gold because they decided early on we're going to use baked lighting and shadows, and then we're going to, in certain areas, use real-time shadows, and they found a way to kind of blend them into the baked shadows. I mean, if they were to have done MGS4 that way, that would have been the perfect compromise. You would have had a game that ran at 60 frames per second.
Which would have been like fucking.
The thing is also,
fucking gold,
whenever
dude,
you're
right there.
emulating MGS4 on, like just, I don't know, for a PCSX or whatever the emulator is, and you play it in like 4K, it increases the resolution of those shadows to where they pretty much looked like stencil shadows. So you kind of see what the game would have looked like if it had those types of shadows, and it looks way better. I just felt like if they, another thing, it's not really, I guess it's kind of a segue into the next topic, but they are planning on releasing Master Collection Volume 2 that includes MGS4.
Ooh.
So I think they're actually going to do a straight up, like, how
rehaul of the lighting of the shadow engine.
Well, I mean, from what I heard is that like Sony like hired some of the people that made the RPCS3 emulator.
Oh, really?
To make an emulator for PS3 or a PS3 emulator for PS5.
Yeah.
And so they're probably going to be using this for MGS4 or at least like certain elements of it or whatever. So, if that's the case, then like, yeah, I mean, what everybody's been playing on the, the emulated versions of MGS4 is what we're probably going to be seeing on the PS5 version of the Master Collection Volume 2 for MGS4. So it's like, that would be really interesting.
Oh yeah, dude.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just an easy way to fucking do the game, just to re-release it, is just to make an emulated version, get the freaking best people in the world that have made the RPCS3 emulator and just have them work on a PS5 port of that emulator and just have it fucking just make it look as good as possible.
The T Lopes of Metal Gear Solid 4, dude. In some way, I don't know, but yeah, dude, it's like it's very interesting. Like they just see the talent and they're just like, hey, fuck it, come aboard.
Yeah, I feel like what were they going to do? Just hire new people to just start up a new project whenever this team already had like insane research and success into developing their own PS3
For
emulator?
free?
Yeah, I know.
For free?
It's like, oh yeah, they already did so much of the research and development. Why not just hire them to just continue their work and like actually make an official product?
It's got to be a really good feeling. Like, you're just fucking doing all this shit for free, and you're finally getting the actual people to hire you on there and pay you.
It probably is a pretty satisfying feeling, dude.
Holy shit, dude! You're literally getting recognized for your fucking work.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is a pretty satisfying feeling for sure.
Is there any other topics that we got to cover?
No, not really.
All right.
I do have one thing I wanted to talk about was just like,
that video.
That
video.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
We can talk about that a little bit, but like, I think that, just kind of one random point I just wanted to bring up that I wrote down on my notes like a while back was just like, if they remake MGS1, they better fucking straight up just buy the license for that music from that freaking Russian composer.
Yeah.
Like, just bite the bullet and just admit that it wasn't like a freaking an original song, which I still think like it I mean,
I don't think
I'm like
there was
50-50 on it.
I don't
It's
think-
like there's
I'm not
elements
even
that are there. There's
50-50, dude.
motifs there that are really like strong, that are like comparable to what they wrote.
I think I would barely even give it that much credit, dude. I listen to it. It's just like,
I heard it recently too.
It's like, I guess at best for me.
It's not enough to warrant them just.
But that's what I'm
ditching the
saying.
entire
If
song.
they're that worried about it, like Kojima was,
yeah.
just buy the damn license to them. Just license it. You're fucking Konami. This is a multi-million-dollar freaking franchise.
That is the Metal Gear Solid theme, dude.
Yeah, no.
I know.
It's the Metal Gear Solid theme.
Yeah,
How the
dude,
fuck are you gonna be like da, 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 like over fucking Metal Gear Solid 1? Nah, dude, I'm not.
No.
It's gonna leave a bad taste in my mouth, dude.
Oh yeah. Put the damn theme in the game. Put the damn theme in the damn game, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I feel like that video of them showing Kojima the different versions. I felt like after he saw that, you know, they got him on camera doing, which is, I feel like, just as Metal Gear fans, that was a dumb decision.
That was
you know?
yeah.
They literally like fucked up big time.
Yeah, it's like, dude, just who cares? Like, okay, it was obviously influenced. Maybe it like kind of went over the edge in some fucking parts of the song, but like, I feel like people have been sued for fucking way less.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, so what? Like, it's fucking like,
Well, for way more, I think.
yeah, way more. Yeah.
The guy literally created his own song, Tappy. He created his own song.
Yeah.
It's not the same song.
No.
I mean, like there's, like I said, there's motifs that sound similar.
Yeah.
But like, dude, and like I'm saying, if it's that big of a concern,
If anything,
just
I think it's
purchase the fucking license to that freaking original.
If anything, it's just one motif. Which
Which wasn't even used.
It wasn't even that close. It was like kind of still off.
Oh.
Yeah, and the timing was different
actually.
too and shit.
It was
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
It was obviously like influenced by it, but like,
If Ice Ice Baby can get away with it, why the fuck couldn't they, dude?
yeah, no, dude, it's ridiculous.
yeah, dude. I mean, I've seen people get away with way fucking like just straight up stealing fucking like guitar solos and shit. You know, when they just got a little warning.
I think it's just Konami just being like, oh, we don't want any trouble, so we're gonna go ahead and give it to them.
No,
Yeah,
dude, just buy the
sure.
license at that point. Buy it. Just buy it.
Yeah.
License the song.
Well,
and
here's the
just
thing,
put
dude. I mean, they already put Metal Gear Solid 1 in the Master Collection, right? Did they
Yeah.
take out that song?
No, they didn't.
Oh,
It's a good point.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, maybe now that Kojima's not there, they have a little bit more balls to freaking, you know, call some shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, it's changing topics. You want to talk about that video a little bit? About that freaking weasel?
God.
Come on, man. Don't be so mean. Don't fucking.
What do you mean? What do you think he's going to commit suicide over this or what?
I mean, looking at his, where he's living. I mean, maybe he might. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, dude. Don't kill you. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, anyway, freaking, yeah, this freaking weasel of a man, he was just like talking about like, God, dude, where do we even start with this guy? I mean, this video that we watched, I
I
think
don't
it was,
know. I guess, do you want to? I don't even know his name or his channel name, but like,
what do we need to say?
yeah. We'll just leave that out and just like, maybe it's up to.
I mean, if you don't even remember, I mean, it's not even worth it.
So this guy, he had a thumbnail of the video, and it was just like had a picture of MGS3 Snake on there, and it said just like boring, lazy, stupid, like whatever. It's all these buzzwords, like just negative, just like
just
basically his
thumbnail
these
strategy
words that
shit.
summed up his opinion on the game and shit. And he was just like so pissed off about like this game being a freaking 1-to-1 remake. And we've obviously made the case here for the reasons why we think this is absolutely the perfect remake for Konami to be doing for many reasons. And it's not even the fact that I think that Konami is actually incapable of actually like making an actual remake of this game. I actually think they probably are capable of doing a decent remake of this game. I mean, obviously they have the funds, they're Konami, it's not like they just like, oh yeah, we went into hiding for 10 years and we came back and we just have the same amount of money. Now, obviously they have been making money off their software and their freaking pachinko machines for all of these years. So they've been they have money. They still have their freaking exercise freaking gyms all over the place here and the airports, near airports in Las Vegas and shit. And, they're still around. They still have a prominence. Okay. So like, the fact that they made this game 1-to-1 was purely because they knew that that's what the fans want. So what's his name? Noriaki Okamura. This guy knows exactly what fans want. I feel like this guy was actually more key in the producing of these games than a lot of people give him credit for. I feel like he was the number one guy that probably
just knew what the fans wanted.
Kind of pushed back against Kojima on a lot of his quirkiness.
Yeah.
And like, we're gonna
kind of rein him in a little bit.
Huh?
Rein him in a little bit.
Yeah, rein him in a little bit and like actually put some serious shit in this game. Make it a good game. Make it a good game that's just like, solid, for lack of a better term. Huh?
Like really marketable?
Yes, exactly. And I feel like, he might not have the creative mind like Kojima does, but he has the reasonable brain.
Well, he's a producer.
He's a producer. He's not like he's an idiot. He's like basically the John Landau to James Cameron.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you got John Landau to create a new fucking movie from scratch where he's on the floor directing people, it's not going to freaking really come out as the same as a James Cameron.
Yeah, I mean, it might be just as good. But
yeah,
like,
I don't know. You never know.
A lot of the things that made James Cameron's movies really good might still translate. Maybe more of the good ideas, will translate into the new movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of what I feel like with Okamura is that like he's kind of taking a lot of the ideas that really made the game successful and marketable and just like really understanding the fans and what they want. I think that's pretty much all Okamura, you know? And I think Kojima is just like a really kind of creative like guy that just kind of wanted to try a lot of new things.
He added the flair to it.
Yeah.
He added all the flair.
I mean, you have people that are like, they take out the credit whenever it comes to like their properties, but like, down the road, they just sort of like, say they lose certain staff members and okay, I'm going to do my own thing. And then it's like, it turns out to be like, not so good. Actually, what am I saying? That literally happened with Death Stranding, right?
Yeah.
So like,
that's what I was thinking. That's what I thought you were getting at.
Yeah. So yeah, but like, so you have somebody that's like, what's his name? Okamura?
Okamura.
Noriaki Okamura. So like you have somebody that's like who has like the best ideas of Kojima, and he's apparently he was able to rein him bring back the reins and stuff, and like is able to like condense the best of that and just like make it marketable. Well then, I mean, really, why wouldn't you trust a guy like that to make a good product?
Yeah. I think, obviously everything that they're doing with this remake, I think is the perfect remake. I mean, I think this is the perfect formula for a remake. This guy knows what he's doing.
Dude, the thing is, he's going in there with the mindset of that, okay, we're going to make the best video game remake ever.
Yeah.
But just, less than a year ago, we got the RE4 remake, and that was already hailed as the best remake of all time.
Yeah.
But now we're probably going to get an even better one, and this guy's at the helm. So it's like, yeah, I think this guy knows how to make a good remake and knows what the fans want. And I think he's doing an awesome job. I mean, it's like he's gotten me like super excited about it, and like seeing what the press is saying about the demo, it's like
not only that, but even just the marketing of it, where they got the freaking the designer of the game, they got David Hayter involved. They've been making these production hotlines. They've been making these cool videos where they're interviewing Okamura about the game, and they're talking about how they care about the fans' input. All this stuff is just like. Literally every single thing that they've said and done so far has just been 100% on point. There hasn't even been one missed beat yet. Not one. Everything has just been perfect.
Yeah, I know. Which is why I freaking feel like this guy on his YouTube channel is just like
freaking an idiot.
Yeah, he just like doesn't even get like he keeps mentioning. He's like, oh yeah, it's just he keeps saying it's a 1-to-1, it's like 1-to-1 remake. No, like nothing extra that's being added to it. And then I remember people were even mentioning like, dude, I don't think you've even done any fucking research on this shit because you
there's plenty of extra.
It's not it's not a 1-to-1 remake. Not only are the graphics being insanely improved, but like the gameplay mechanics are like being greatly overhauled.
Well, this guy was even saying that like, oh yeah, they're going to be using the same exact motion capture files from the original, even though the technology now has just gotten so much better with like games. And then he was showing videos of like freaking Overwatch or some shit.
Yeah.
I was like, what, dude? Like this fucking super animated, like overly animated freaking shit. I'm like, no, dude, get that shit away from Metal Gear. And the thing is, like. Whenever you look at Metal Gear Solid 3's like motion capture, it's really freaking stands the test of time. 100%.
I mean,
and the thing is, how can
capture.
you not like the whole point of motion capture is that you're capturing human movement. So like, there's no like better version of like, oh yeah, it's not like they were using like traditional, animation techniques where they were drawing pen to paper. It's like this is. Human movement recorded already. There's no.
It's so ridiculous stiff, because if you
it's so stiff, and then you show this that shot of Snake pulling his knife out, and it's like, dude, what? You're literally. And then they showed another one of him doing this. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Why don't you show the CQC scenes?
Yeah, I know.
Also, why don't you show the if you're gonna be totally honest about it, why don't you show the Pachinko fucking game footage? I mean. they literally use the same exact
Yes.
motion capture footage. So, but like but way better graphics. Like, why don't you just be honest? Just like show that if you're gonna be like, but instead you're gonna show like this 20-something-year-old game and then focus on their like facial movements.
The thing is, they are updating the facial
exactly, and so they're updating the facial movements.
yeah, which was already apparent in like the trailer like 5 months ago.
So it's like, okay, like, so this guy's got nothing he's got no leg to stand on.
Yeah, no, dude.
The
It's
thing
just
is, like, this guy wants to sit here and act like the motion capture technology has just like had quantum leaps of improvement over the past like 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at a fucking body motion capture suit from like the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. They all pretty much look the same.
Yeah,
Just-
I
they're
actually
trackers.
looked it up. I actually looked it up after I watched that video. I was like, I literally looked up motion capture studio, and that people still wear the suits with the balls and the cameras, and it's like it's still the same fucking technology, bro.
Yeah, no.
Like
The
technology is-
you don't need to fix what's not broken.
The
you know?
technology is impressive, but the concept is not exactly rocket science. Just fucking put the balls in the relevant points with the joints and like the articulation and all that stuff, and then if you do a good enough job, you're gonna fucking get the capture.
You know, and he was like sitting there saying, he's like, oh yeah, man, if you just look at the animation quality, from like the Phantom Pain, it just looks so much better. I'm like, dude, you're just seeing a more high fidelity image. Like the graphics look better. The
motion capture is
actually,
the same.
they actually did do like facial capture too. So it's like,
motion capture is literally
but
the
if you're
same.
talking about body motion capture, the fucking technology is exactly the same. It's like inside out tracking, meaning that there's sensors that are placed in a grid around the studio, and then there are multiple cameras that are tracking the balls on the actors in a 3D space. They're already super high resolution. At
that point-
literally high enough resolution to like, it's like to withstand a test of time.
I can't quite get over just that shot of like how him commenting on how outdated the motion capture is, but it focuses on Snake getting his arm fucking broken and focusing on his face.
Yeah. There's the fucking animation is so wooden. That's what he said. And whenever it showed that shot, I'm like, okay, the shit that you're showing here has literally already been reanimated. Like the facial animation, yeah, it looks weird in that shot, but like it's being redone. So shut the fuck up. Like your point has already been disproven.
Yeah, not only that, but it's just like, dude, like whenever I guess this guy just hasn't seen any like of the cutscenes that they actually like any of the behind the scenes from MGS2, from the documented MGS2 that they had, where they were like freaking doing like remember the guy jumping on the trampoline and all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
And then, dude,
Or the guy, remember Revolver Ocelot? Remember he was doing the fucking revolving
like
and shit?
that was literally real.
Yeah.
And then the fight
Yep.
scene with Revolver Ocelot and freaking Big
fans.
Boss in the plane.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean the
fans.
animation of that scene is so good.
You have fans literally recreating Revolver Ocelot doing those exact like moves in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was scene. I remember watching this scene. He's like, "Oh, that's so stiff." I was like, "Dude, this is literally the exact opposite of stiff." Because I remember whenever they were filming the scene with like Snake
compared
in
to
the
a jellyfish,
helicopter.
maybe?
Remember when they were seeing
Yeah.
the Snake in the helicopter? They literally had a moving platform for him to kind of like
React
remember-
to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this isn't some fucking basic ass freaking motion capture shit. They literally went to town on MGS2. Remember the scene whenever they're jumping out of the Kasutka and onto the freaking the boat? I mean
Yeah.
the tanker, and they're like fucking coming. They're all fucking moving. It's
Yeah.
like extremely good. They're all like patting each other, fucking,
Yeah,
like,
I know.
okay, this literally looks like real animation. Because it was.
Yeah.
It was literally motion capture based on human. It's like, what do you want? Some fucking cartoony ass, overly animated
Like some
shit?
Overwatch
want-
or fucking
yeah, you want
From, like from Overwatch or from, you know what I'm saying? Some fucking, what's that other game? Fortnite ass animation?
Yeah.
Where it's just like these dancers. Yeah, the technology now is so good. Why don't they do more of like this stuff, huh?
Yeah, because
Like
the actors
what?
because human
fuck
beings
outta
have
here.
bones.
Huh?
Because human beings have bones.
Yeah, no, it's like fucking ridiculous, dude. This guy is just like, what are you even talking about, dude?
Wasn't there somebody in the comments calling him out for something? Like he was like, dude, have you even like done a bit of research on this shit? And
Yeah,
then
there was
and then-
another point that somebody brought that up on, like they were just trying to call him out. I forgot what it was exactly, but yeah, this guy, I mean, he was talking a bunch of nonsense in this video,
And then
Just-
people were calling him out in the comments, and then they were like, "Dude, you obviously haven't even done any research." Oh, that's right, yeah. You obviously didn't even watch the production hotline.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He didn't even
and
know.
then he's like, "Oh yeah, you mean that fucking like that marketing piece that they made with David Hayter?" And he's like, "Actually, no, that's not what it was."
yeah, yeah.
It's like, dude, you obviously didn't do a lick of research for this video, and
Nor
you
for the
didn't even
comments.
do you didn't do any research for the comments that people are calling you out for.
And I was like, oh yeah, wouldn't you think that if you got called out in the comments and somebody's like, you probably don't even know what the production hotline is, and then you don't even take the time to even Google what they're talking about.
yeah,
Like, dude, this guy is just fucking stupid and lazy.
yeah, I know.
Like ridiculous.
I know.
Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, dude, I don't even think I've literally gone to any video that like had a more like negative response to the actual content than this guy's video.
Remember,
But
he
it's
kind of
good-
even said it. He was like, "Oh yeah, you know." I was like, "Oh yeah, man." One of the comments was, "Oh yeah, I bet this guy fucking made this video thinking that everybody was going to agree with him."
And
he's
then
like,
he commented back, he's like, yeah, I did. And he's like, well, you
What?
thought, and then the guy responded back, well, you were wrong.
The thing is,
Oh.
the craziest thing about this video, is that like he actually said, okay, I'm still, despite me saying all this negative thing, even though this game is going to be so lazy, so bad, so horrible, I'm still going to get it day one. And
Yeah.
then at the end of the video, this guy
Yeah, I know.
okay, if you guys can help it, please don't give money to this company. Just please don't get it.
"Yeah, I
Even
know,
though I'm going to get this game myself. Like,
Yeah,
what
I know.
the fuck?
I know, dude." It's
I don't, why
yeah.
would you even leave that in? Why would you put? why
Dude,
would
the
you
thing is,
intentionally put that
apparently in the
video?
comments they were calling him out for this stuff, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, there was plenty of points whenever I was editing this video
Yeah,
where I thought like maybe I should leave this out, or maybe I need to re-record some stuff. But you know, I already recorded the video, so I just went ahead and went through with it.
just
I don't know,
cut
dude.
that
The thing
part
is, this
out,
guy is
dude.
like
What the
he's
fuck?
one of these Metal Gear fans that is like first and foremost a Kojima fan. You know, he's not
Yeah.
even a Metal Gear fan. And so I feel like whenever he's sitting here talking about fucking, Metal Gear or this game, it's he doesn't even like he's seeing it through like Kojima blinders, like where he's just blinded by his obsession with Kojima, and it's like one of these guys that's just like hasn't gotten the fucking hint that this game is actually going to be badass as fuck. This remake,
Yeah.
and he hasn't even seen the general sentiment shift from Konami being this fucking evil bad guy corporation and shit. It's like a villain of a corporation to a company that's actually listening to its fans, not submitting to a fucking like some sort of fucking Sweet Baby Inc. type company that's
Yeah.
just like telling them how to fucking write their fucking game or like what kind of characters to include or whatever. They're just like, no, we're going to stick with Kojima's vision. We're going to fucking like appease the fans. We're going to ask the fans what they want. And we're going to fucking do this shit. And then this guy hasn't even caught on. Well, of course he didn't, because he didn't watch the production hotline. And if you watch the production hotline, you know for a fact that Konami is listening to the fans, because they fucking were literally reading on stage like all
the
these
comments?
fucking negative comments about, oh yeah, man, this is fucking like not even gonna buy this shit, you know?
Well,
And,
that's
like,
what happens whenever you fucking just like you base your identity about like into like a team. And you're just like, okay, wait, Konami did this bad thing. Well, you know what? Fuck them forever. And I'm never gonna fucking forgive them. And blah 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 blah.
Even
It's
though
like,
that company gave you some of the best memories of your life.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like, okay, they fucked over David Hayter or whatever, and so like 10 years later, you're just gonna like, oh wait, it's Konami. Oh well, fuck them, because like they fucking did this thing to Kojima or whatever. It's like, dude,
What did Kojima do to David Hayter though? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, what did he do to Stephanie Houston? It's like, what did he do to fucking
Jeremy Blaustein?
Jeremy Blaustein? You know, it's like there's so many people that he's fucking like, you can just see the backs that he's walking on top of to get
Yeah.
to where he's at.
Yeah,
You know?
and also at the end of the day, it's just like, dude, you're not involved in these people's lives.
Yeah.
No.
So
Why
it's
are
like-
you just sucking these people's dicks, dude?
You're a
Especially
fucking,
Kojima.
You're just a fucking, you're fucking playing some games that are made, by these companies. You don't know what fucking happened and behind the scenes in this in any way. So like, maybe they did fuck over Kojima. Maybe there's some reason why he didn't want to. Maybe David Hayter screwed Kojima's wife or something. Who fucking knows, dude?
Yeah, I
So
know.
it's like, okay, is there a fucking okay?
At the end of the day, you're just gonna be playing the game. That's all. That's all.
Exactly.
That's all that it truly
Exactly.
means to you. And whatever thing that you're attached to with Kojima has been fucking like very precisely been put out to the public.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, they'll put out like nice marketing videos of, oh yeah, we're gonna go on a Peace Walker tour and we're gonna go to all these different cities and we're gonna make
Yeah.
cool marketing videos that show how badass Kojima is and
Yeah.
how loved he is. And it's like, oh yeah, man, this kind of like, you know, makes my fucking love for Kojima even more, you know, like concrete, you know. And it's like, and I felt like just the way that they've built up Konami has built up Kojima
Yeah.
by providing him all the marketing, providing him all the fucking notoriety, and letting
Brought
him
him the tools to make
Yeah.
his games.
yeah, and then like, you know, it's really just like Konami literally created Kojima.
Yeah, no, they
And,
really did.
You know, for
Like
the,
they were. I mean, without Konami, he wouldn't have.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been
the thing is,
shit.
there's other people there at Konami that are like highly responsible for the way the game turning out the way it
Yeah.
did. So it's like the people that actually coded it, the people that did the graphics, people that did the gameplay,
Shinkawa?
people that fucking like co-wrote the fucking story, people that co-wrote the fucking
I would say- I would say
co-produced it, you know,
sorry,
just
sorry.
like all this shit. You know, it's like it wasn't just Kojima, you know, he literally made it mandatory for the staff to give him fucking ideas about the gameplay.
I'd go so far as to say that Yoji Shinkawa was like 50% of it.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
Literally
100%.
50% of.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
you know, if
success.
there is a slight complaint about the graphics of the new Delta remake, I do feel like it's slightly less Yoji Shinkawa looking.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It does look a little bit more grounded
God,
in
it's like,
reality.
yeah. But the thing
one-
is, if Metal Gear Solid 3 was 100% Yoji Shinkawa's design, I would say that the new remake is probably like 95%. It's that
Yeah.
little of a
Yeah.
difference.
I
I
do
will, I
feel
will
like-
say though. I will say. I remember whenever we did that podcast whenever we were sitting over there. I noticed that there was like a little bit of like a sort of like a washed out like effect, or like maybe there was like a certain like it was like a very plain. The color grading was very plain.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
but they definitely improved
Oh
on
god,
that.
dude, I was noticing that in the new
they-
screenshots.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did it. They
Yeah,
fucking did
I
it.
I remember, like,
And-
yeah,
and-
remember I was telling you, I was like, oh, this
Yeah,
is a log
you did.
mode. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
literally the type of flat type of imagery that you want to create before you color grade, because
Yeah.
you want to have the fucking flattest image possible, so that way whenever you color grade it in post, whenever they add the color grading in the game or the movie or whatever, they have a flat image to work with, so that way they can get really creative with the way that the color grading looks, and it's going to look more contrasty. It's going to be like, you know, more colorful contrast, and it's
and-
like, yeah.
and lo and
these new
behold, it
screenshots,
actually-
I was like, I noticed
yeah.
it right away. I was like, oh shit, yeah,
the red
Yep,
bricks,
yep.
and it's like, okay, well, they got it. They did it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Damn.
remember seeing that, and I was like, "Oh, yep, it's there. It has the contrast, has the colors, the saturation, and they got new filters on top of it to make it even look better and shit." So it's like, yeah, I was not really that worried. I haven't really been worried about it. I remember I was worried about it whenever they showed that first batch of screenshots, and I remember I even edited the images myself just to make it look like the original. And it pretty much looks like what they actually ended up creating, you know, just with the more saturated, more fucking like kind of like bloom effects that they have on there. So it's like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's all there. It
Yeah.
looks great. It looks
yeah, but
absolutely
they just
phenomenal.
needed a fucking flat image to work with to do the color grading. That's how color grading works. It's
Yeah.
like you film it in a log mode, it's flat, and you just grade it from there. So what they provided in those first screenshots was definitely fucking just log mode screenshots.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I'm definitely pleased that it was just that you guys predicted. They fucking they fucking improved on that, and the colors
God,
are
I
now
feel
there.
like, you know, just even just predicting shit. It's not even really. I wouldn't even say it's predicting. I feel like it's more just like
common sense.
common sense. You know, just try to see it from like a production standpoint and just the stages of development. You know, just
We've been here with Konami before.
Yeah,
we already have so many examples to go on with the production of MGS 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we can literally look and we can see the different stages of production for each game. We can kind of know that like the lighting direction and the color grading is something that comes like very close to the end of the production cycle. You know, it's like the kind of the polishing and stuff, which Yoji Shinkawa himself used to actually do a lot of the lighting direction. But like,
especially in MGS4.
yeah, I know, and 4 specifically, but like, you know, yeah, it's just sometimes you just got to know when you're looking at beta footage and what to expect from the final product whenever it comes to Konami and Metal Gear. But yeah. But anyway, going back to this guy's video, we were there was something in there that he was just like completely hypocritical on. It was the fact that he was like,
"Oh, I think we already talked about.
I'm going to buy this game day one." Remember?
Yeah.
You already talked about that?
Yeah, we talked about it already.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
God, dude, I couldn't even believe that.
What are your thoughts about that? We didn't hear your take on it.
I mean, I don't know. I just thought he was completely hypocritical, and that this guy was just kind of is just unwarranted. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're so weak in your freaking mind that you can see this game. You know it looks good. You know it looks phenomenal. And you're already going to buy it day one, but you're just sitting here urging other people to not buy it whenever you can't even stick by your own principles. I mean, it just literally makes you look like a weak man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, why would you even freaking go on record saying something like that? You know? Like where you just, you can't even stick to your own convictions and shit. It's like, for you to just in one video say that you're going to buy the game, but you're urging other people not to so you can enjoy it. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. Oh, yeah, this game. You know?
Man, I just feel like, fuck people that tell people not to buy a game just because, like, they think it's going to be bad or, like, that it's, like, even though, don't be deceived by Konami. Don't let them deceive you. It's like, well, if what they're showing me looks fucking awesome, why the fuck would I not buy the game?
To the point to where this guy himself is going to buy the game. And what a weak person.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times have me and you like not watched a movie or, gone to see or play a game because like we saw the marketing material was like, that doesn't look like it's serving my interests at all.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it. It's like, when do people do that?
I mean,
it's like you watch the trailer. Okay, this looks good.
This guy is already sold on the game. He's already going to buy it day one. He's going to play it, but he's urging other people not to. I mean, dude, get out of here, dude. You literally are so weak that you can't even, honor your own convictions. And it's
he's counting on other people to like not give them money.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I have a weak heart, and I just can't, say no to a Metal Gear game.
I've been a fan since the original, so I deserve to play it, but you don't deserve to play it.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like what it comes off as, dude.
Yeah, no, it's like, all you newcomers, like, don't play this game. Just like I know that you like really are interested in Metal Gear because the trailer and stuff, but don't trust me, don't buy it. It's not going to be a good game.
Okay, there's a reason why we didn't fucking buy Death Stranding day one. Like,
yeah.
I never even bought it.
Well, I did. I eventually succumbed, I guess.
Dude.
I'm just that big of a Kojima fan. No, but again, dude.
Well, I didn't buy it. He didn't buy it. And the thing is, we knew we didn't want to play it. We knew we were never going to play it.
Yeah, well, because the trailers were shit.
I did buy it at half price whenever it was half price on PlayStation Plus.
So basically, they lost money with your purchase.
Yeah, basically. But the thing is, dude, I mean, I just can't imagine being that much of a fan. And the thing is, that's crazy to me because you guys are like, I'll include myself in this. We're like really big fucking fans of like, of Metal Gear and Kojima.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we fucking see something that we don't like, so we don't get it.
Yeah.
What?
But this guy
What the fuck?
sees something that he doesn't like to the degree that he's going to film podcasts or videos about it, edited and everything, where he's literally in the same video telling you that he's going to buy it, but he doesn't want you to buy it. He doesn't want you to enjoy it. He's going to enjoy it. He himself is going to just have a fun old time with it, but he doesn't want you to buy it because he is just, he's got a statement to make.
Yeah,
but
dude,
he's basically one of these people that just claims that like, oh yeah, we need to fight climate change. And then they fly out of the conference on their freaking private jet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's literally that same guy.
No, yeah. The thing is, I mean, I just can't, I'm racking my brains here, and like I really like Fallout. I like Bethesda games and stuff, but whenever fucking Fallout 4 came out, I just wasn't really feeling it. So I just didn't get it until, well, I guess, again, it was like half price, and then I got it. It's like, I mean, I never understood being so much of a fan to the point where you don't like something, but you get it day one. Like, I don't, like, where the fuck does that even come from? I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't know, dude.
And
I really have no idea.
Again, I mean, I see myself, with certain properties I'm a pretty big fan of, like I fucking love fucking Kojima's work. I fucking love Metal Gear. I fucking love his projects. I love Zone of the Enders. Fucking all that
Police
stuff.
Not Snatcher.
Police Not Snatcher. And it's like, okay, here's this thing that I don't like, so I'm not gonna get it. Sad to say, I'm not gonna get it. And it's
no. Even the thing is, like, just being uber fucking obsessed with Kojima for like a better part of our lives.
Your
like,
lives, not even like a decade.
Yeah,
Your
but,
lives,
yeah, no.
dude.
It's like being so obsessed with this guy. I mean, it's words can't even put it into like.
He was our
reality.
main inspiration and main motivation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's like for him to fucking make a game that is like so much like obviously like not fucking like we're not the audience for that game. For him to put out something like that is like, okay, I'm off the Kojima bandwagon now because he just put out such a fucking whack ass fucking game.
awful game.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's just like this guy is still in that boat though, where he's like in the anti-Konami, pro Kojima fucking boat. I'm like, yeah, dude. I mean, you're literally saying this shit after Death Stranding. You're saying it after fucking MGS3 looks so fucking good and shit, or MGS Delta.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It literally makes zero fucking sense.
Yeah, there's so many other points. I feel like it was one of those videos that you watch where you just like every single thing is like false. Like I couldn't agree with a single thing this guy said.
Me and Sean were listening to it on the way home from work, and we literally had to pause the video every 5 seconds. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, literally everything this guy is saying is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Every fucking thing he's saying is bullshit.
I really wish I could remember more of it right now,
Yeah.
but like I really like was just freaking disgusted with that videos to such a far degree. It's like
I think it's literally just a case of this guy just not even thinking about what he was saying.
well,
No, he
contradicted himself
literally wrote
multiple
a
times.
script before. He didn't just like make this video just like him on a camera fucking talking. He literally wrote the entire script, edited the entire thing. He had plenty of fucking like premeditated fucking thoughts about this.
God, if
fucking
you go
video.
into the comment section and you see him, he's like, "Oh yeah, well, I in the process of making this video and seeing the comments, I've learned what the difference between a remake, a remaster, and a reimagining is. So now I understand." Like I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about,
Then
dude?
why did you
How
release
did
a
you
video
even,
like this?
Yeah, if you don't even know what the fuck this project even is, like it even matters anyway. This is a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. That they're literally remaking the game. You call it a reimagining if you want, or a branding, or whatever you want to fucking call it. It's like we see this
Whatever
game.
it is, it
we
looks
know what it
fucking
is.
awesome.
It looks awesome. This is the best thing that they could possibly do for MGS3.
Yeah.
So just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no,
buy it, enjoy it. It's going to be a game that they're literally like putting so much passion into. I don't know, dude. I just
Okay,
Yeah, no,
what-
it's
what
like
he's-
it's like
he
the
even
best-
had
the
a
best-
problem with them using the same voice file. Like, just do something different. For the love of God, please do something different. Well, it's like they did do something
They
different.
did.
It's like, what are you talking about? They've literally freaking revamped the entire freaking gameplay, dude.
The thing is, like,
to the
a
point where they
lot
have
of-
a different mode.
I know a lot of people are like fucking like they've already been burned with the Twin Snakes whenever they re-recorded the voice files, and that was just a few years after the
People-
original game came out.
People were
And
calling them out
performance-
on that shit in the
God,
comments.
Mei
It was
Ling
like,
kept
dude,
her
no way,
accent,
dude.
dude.
So, but basically, it was like, no, dude, you're fucking wrong on this shit. Like last time we got a freaking a remake by Kojima, or a Metal Gear game without Kojima, they literally made Metal Gear Survive. So this is literally the best thing that they could possibly do. If they were to do anything outside of that, it would be a complete nightmare, and everybody would be talking shit right now. And you're the only one who's actually talking shit right now. Everybody else is gung ho with this thing.
especially
Resident Evil 2 and 4. I think I might have already said this, but like, dude, those were fucking like, that's lightning in a bottle. That shit is like, if you're gonna remake a property, it's like you gotta have some fucking like top level, generational genius level fucking direction where you're gonna fucking make it like really fucking badass if you're gonna fucking go off the rails like that. But it's like, dude, I do not blame Konami at all to play it like,
as safe as possible.
as safe as they can while adding new stuff, obviously, but like, just change the whole direction of the game. Because I mean, dude, just think of all of the times in like, you know, not even game history, but in cinematic history where they, oh, here's like an old thing, let's remake it, and you know, to like a modern image. How many times has that fucking been successful?
Very few.
Like probably like what, like 10%?
Yeah, maybe less.
Maybe less.
5, maybe.
And fucking when it comes to Resident Evil, they fucking got lucky as fuck.
Yeah.
Like okay, how many times did fucking properties get remade? Not like let's fucking forget movies, TV shows. How many times did fucking games get re-released and remade where they became successful?
God,
probably not.
If we're talking about only games,
probably
I'll probably
not
say
that many.
closer to 3%.
Probably not that many.
I mean, I can really only think of a few: Resident Evil, Echo, Shadow of the Colossus. Maybe that I didn't even play it, but that one.
Well, I mean, you know, Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, those are remasters.
Okay, you're talking about full on remakes.
Full on remake. I'm talking about full on remakes.
Yeah, dude.
So you would consider
Resident Evil
MGS Delta
2 and
remake,
4.
right?
Of course, it's not a remaster.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I know it's a remake.
I would say it's more like a. I would say it's
Hybrid?
almost like a hybrid. Yeah.
So a remaster is a boost up in
graphics.
Not even graphics. A remaster is a boost up in resolution and frame rate. A remake is something that they change.
Yeah.
Like in the actual, you know, in the code, in the freaking gameplay, they change gameplay elements. They change like camera, you know, dude. MGS3 Delta is a remake. It's not a remaster. It's not a reimagining. It's a fucking straight up like a remake. It's about as remake as you get.
I agree, but like if you compare it to like, you know, the FF7 remake and the RE, or even maybe even the RE4 remake, I think it would. I think I would consider Delta more of like a hybrid of like a remake and a remaster.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
No, it is straight up a hybrid of a remake and a remaster.
Well, yeah,
like he was just saying, Final Fantasy VII
it's a
remake.
hybrid in the sense that like the cutscenes are 1-to-1.
Yeah.
With remastered graphics.
Yeah, the audio is the same, the stages are the same. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's in there that's the same. Like,
yeah, but in my opinion, this is just absolutely perfect for what this game actually
I know,
needed.
yeah, it's perfect for sure, but it is a hybrid of a fucking remake and a remaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I was saying, like the fucking voice files are the same, the cutscenes are the same, the motion capture is the same, the levels. I mean, just a lot of the gameplay mechanics, it's like way closer to the original than the Resident Evil 4 remake, or especially Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like, there's a lot there that's the same, but there's a lot that's new too.
What did you think about this guy saying that like they about passing it on to another team and shit?
I think that would have been dumb for them to. I mean, maybe
good luck with that.
I mean, dude, this guy actually thinks that like Konami themselves weren't freaking like. I don't even know what the fuck this guy even wanted. Because he was sitting there saying that he wants a remake, a spiritual remake. He mentioned that a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I'm like, a spiritual remake is something that's not even an actual remake.
It's a franchise.
He wants RE4 remake. But the thing is, dude, like I said, it's like, okay, you know how fucking rare that shit fucking is? You know how
it's actually like appeased the fans?
I think in that instance, Resident Evil 4 is the only one that actually freaking worked.
And I agree because fucking Final Fantasy 7
falls flat on freaking a lot of fronts.
It still has problems, dude.
Especially the new one.
It still has problems.
The first one was actually a lot better, and that one even had problems. This new one is even worse.
Yeah,
I mean, hopefully the third one is like the best one because they need to.
I'm holding out hope that the game does get better. I think
it will, but
like still, I mean, we still have problems.
Regardless, these problems are exist.
Yeah.
So like, just for this guy, he was literally just saying that like, oh yeah, they should have. Yeah, here's the thing: is that like Metal Gear? I mean, the fans of the original game. I mean, they're just like these fans are just like on to better things and doing like freaking actual projects and like they're just. Why couldn't they just like hire a creative team of fans to like?
So easy.
Yeah, it's like so easy, bro. And you know what's really stupid about this is that Konami literally did this with Silent Hill 2.
Yeah,
and look where it led him. It's like everybody's just talking shit about the game.
Well, I mean, I guess a better example would probably be like So you had Silent Hill 2 or Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and 4 that was made by, I forgot the name of the studio, but then after that game, they fucking literally outsourced every other Silent Hill game to like other developers.
Yeah.
And all
from
of
the
those
West,
games
yeah.
were fucking
Oh,
like,
yeah, like
panned.
Downpour, I think.
Yeah, and like all of the
those
fucking
PSP
ones,
yeah,
yeah.
all of them were fucking panned. They everybody hated them, and then they just kind of that whole franchise went under for probably about like goddamn, probably close to 20 years, like to where it was like
Not 20, maybe 15.
no, I'm talking about from Silent Hill 4 where it was like good,
Oh, yeah.
and then like once they fucking released the
Yeah,
first
it's been about
game, that
20
was
years, yeah.
and so it's gotten to the point to where fucking like Konami shouldn't outsource, especially Metal Gear. That's their biggest franchise.
Yeah, they're
Like-
literally doing the smartest thing possible.
Yeah, I know. They're
Literally
making
smart.
sure that like they don't have to advise another team, because like a lot of the times whenever they advise other teams, like I think I even heard this with Silent Hill 2 that they brought on a lot of the original fucking creators of Silent Hill 2, and they brought them on as advisors to Studio Bloober that's making Silent Hill 2 remake,
Yeah.
and they're just like dismissing everything that they're saying and shit.
Jeez.
And then it's just like, yeah, dude, whenever they make the game internally, they don't have that fucking to worry about. And it's like, yeah, we're going to make it how we fucking, how we know this game is going to be like successful.
Yeah.
So, it's just,
Yeah, so there you go. There's your prime example right there. It's already happening in real time as we speak.
Yeah.
And this guy is just so dumb that he actually thinks that some indie studio with if Konami just outsourced and gave the indie studio proper money to make a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, spiritual successor, then it would have been freaking so much better. It was going to do something
I'm willing
different.
to put money. I'm willing to put money down if they fucking did exactly what he said that they should do. He'd be fucking bitching just as loud.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. He probably bitching more, dude. Obviously. Well, he said he's gonna buy the game day one. It's like, yeah, dude, you're kind of your whole argument goes out the window the second you say that. Whenever you say that you're gonna buy the game day one and you're urging other people not to buy the game, your argument goes out the window completely. You literally just wasted the entire time making this video. So freaking own your shit and
yeah, no,
fucking,
dude. The thing is, like, the Silent Hill 2 remake, I mean, from what I've seen of the gameplay videos that recently came out, it doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look like it's going to appease like a lot of the fans. Like,
literally,
so,
it just makes me want to like just play the original.
yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly this feeling that I got whenever I watched the gameplay video. Then it was like, yeah, I mean, I'd rather just play the original. They should have just fucking done what they did with MGS Delta. Just fucking straight up like do a fucking like hybrid remake where it's like, yeah, so maybe some new controls in there that make it a little bit more modern. Fucking just make the exact game the same levels, same fucking voice actors, that they use in the original game. Pay the fucking,
saw a screenshot of like a little. They did the remake of like whenever what's the name of the character? I forget. It's not Sam. It's
Jimmy. No, I was joking.
no, but the main character is looking at himself in the mirror.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And so, like, the original, is way more, is like very well done. He's looking at himself, and it's just like, it's just a very, like, it encapsulates the very, just like the essence of, like, being depressed and just like very somber, and just like, it does it in a very artistic, it's just like, it's
kind of like
good.
a more subtle way too.
Yeah.
I literally feel like just the fucking, the scene where he's looking at himself in the mirror in the original game, his fucking face does some like weird contortions, and he just looks like very uneasy and shit, and he looks like really creepy.
Yeah.
But then I see the new one, and it's just like
He's just looking at himself, and he's like, oh, I'm so sad. Oh. It's like, dude, it just ruins it.
yeah.
It's a little bit
just so
overplayed,
cringe.
to be honest. Like he touches his face. In the original game, he just like grazes his face and that's it.
Yeah.
The new one, they're like, oh, it's close up on the skin. And then he's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's like overdone.
It's
Yeah.
overdone. It's really overdone.
It's just like the beauty of the subtlety of like the original that.
Well, that's kind of like what happened with Metal Gear Solid 1 and Twin Snakes.
Yeah.
A lot of that subtlety is just like,
Yeah.
even with less technology, the freaking subtleties of like Metal
One
Gear
could
Solid
argue
1
that like
were just like,
the less technology was to the benefit because you have less to work with, so you have to make it badass, right?
Yeah.
But like you have what the fuck is the name of that director, the Devil May Cry director? I think he worked on the Twin Snakes, right?
oh
Like,
yeah, what's his name?
Ryuhei
Ryuhei
Kitamura.
Kitamura,
Yeah,
yeah,
Ryuhei Kitamura.
Dude,
Yeah.
like, okay, you just turn this fucking turn Snake into Dante, and just fucking like, you know, it just made it just kind of destroyed the balance of like a really good, like, you know, balance.
It's military action, you know, a little bit more grounded in reality and shit.
Grounded in reality, but like also like in an artistic way.
Yeah, dude, which is
but
what
like-
Metal Gear Solid 1 did.
Yeah, but with like the Twin Snakes, they made it way too memey. They made it way too, like, you know, way too silly.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know, I guess there's
There's a
plenty of
balance. There's a balance with Metal Gear Solid being
Sure.
fucking silly and serious.
yeah, which
And
I
it's,
guess
it's,
you know,
like more serious than silly.
Which is where
But,
they
like-
also went wrong with Metal Gear Rising.
that's what split the audience.
Yeah.
There's the audience that like appreciate like the balance of like, you know, the, you know, of like, there's like some, you know, it's good to be funny, but it's good to like kind of look at like the serious part of it and like, you know, see the, you know, the like the, you know, see the good, see the really, like, you know, really artistic part of it. But then like you see like, you know, the other side, the other team where it's like, it's just silly, it's fucking stupid, and I love it, which I can respect. Fine, that's great, but it's just like, man, I just can't relate to
Not
that.
with Metal Gear Solid 1, dude. I feel like Metal Gear Solid 1 is like by far. I feel like Metal Gear Solid 1 and Ground Zeroes are the two games in Metal Gear Solid that are serious as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like making Metal Gear Solid 1 silly, it's don't do it. You know, it's not, it doesn't work. Maybe with like Metal Gear Solid 4, you know, because that game's pretty out there.
No.
But
Well, the thing is, that's the reason why I don't like Metal Gear Solid 4 that much.
Yeah, I know.
Because fucking riding break dancing the fucking geckos. And it's like, okay,
Imagine like freaking, remember how he did a backflip off the missile in Twin Snakes?
Yeah.
Imagine he's just breakdancing the missiles, kicking them away and shit.
yeah,
Like, it would
he's just
just be
fucking, you know, and he's fucking like doing the, he gets each of the fucking like the shells that the fucking tank like fires at him. He catches one with one foot.
in
and the
between
other-
his toes and shit.
Yeah, and no, and he just starts fucking doing that Russian dance, you know, with the fucking like missiles and shit. It's like,
yeah, dude.
it's like, okay, like I understand people appreciating that, and like, you know,
It's meme worthy and shit.
Kojima is so silly, and it's,
Yeah.
you know, the memes, and he's God and all this stuff. Okay, you know, that's the audience that he captured as well. You know, if you like whatever you know, whatever shit that you get, that's great. But it's like, man, I really I prefer the more, like, you know, way more subtle, like the way more
Subdued,
you know,
kind of serious
subdued-
fucking tone and
yeah,
shit. Yeah.
and it's like,
Well, dude,
fuck,
yeah,
man.
I agree 100%.
that's why I'm like, whenever I saw the Death Stranding 2 trailer, I was like, I could get into it, but I probably won't, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just not feeling
We already
it.
know what to expect from Death Stranding. And the thing is, it doesn't look different enough to entice me to actually play the game.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just going to be like a slightly upgraded version of the first game.
Yeah.
And although I will admit that it looks quite a bit better, at least as far as the graphics, the presentation,
Mm-hmm.
the freaking, you know, the you know, it looks like it's a more interesting game.
Yeah.
I think even the environments are a little bit more varied to a degree where it looks like that. Even that'll be more interesting.
I'm
But
gonna buy it day 89. Okay.
I wouldn't even buy it, dude. I mean, if it sucks, don't buy it. Stick to your guns. If it sucks, don't buy it, dude.
I'll buy it day 2000.
How many freaking backlog? How big of a backlog of games do you have to go back and play that you want to go back and play?
Dude, I
Why play Death Stranding 2? Why?
I've got such a big backlog. I could literally cut myself off right now, and I'm good for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, you probably have 2 lives. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that like Death Stranding 2 is not going to be anywhere near as good as like investing some time into some PS2 game that you didn't get to play.
Yeah.
And that you could just invest some time. Dude, fucking randomly,
Silent Hill 2?
I just popped up like MTV Music Generator 2 for PS2. And I was like, man, I remember playing this shit back at like whenever
Shit, did you come up with some fresh new tracks or
I
what?
did.
Damn.
Well, just one, but it wasn't. It was okay. It came out pretty good. But I kind of got into it. And I was like, oh man, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
You know. And then I don't think I would have gotten anywhere near that a level of enjoyment from MGS.
You getting a beer? Or?
From I don't think I would have gotten anywhere near that level of enjoyment from MGS. I'm sorry, Death Stranding 1 or 2. I'm gonna have to. They're gonna have to win me over with Death Stranding 2. They're gonna have to win me over really hard because even from what I've seen so far, I'm really not invested. Like I already know how nonsensical the story already was. In order for them to sell me on Death Stranding 2, they would have had to have introduced like completely new characters and a new storyline.
The only time
within that same universe.
The only time I would actually seriously play Death Stranding is if I were to get into like some kind of accident where I break like my tibia or something, and I'm stuck at home for like fucking 14 days, and I fucking that was the only game left. Now I don't know.
If you were stuck on the beach or stuck on an island with one game, and
I
it
was stuck
Death
on the
Stranding.
peach. I'd be stuck on the Princess Peach, dude.
Stuck on the peach of an island.
But like, yeah, I don't know. It's like it's one of those games where it's just like I'd have to be in a certain position in my life to like, you know, be like, okay, I guess I'll play it. Because I bought the game. Thanks.
Where's mine?
I bought the game, and I still didn't play it. Yeah. I only got past like 30 minutes, and I'm not feeling it, dude. Damn. And this is somebody that like I still like Kojima. I still respect.
No,
I still respect the guy. But like I'm still not. I'm not playing the game. I'm not playing Death Stranding. I'm not doing it. I'm playing these other games that I'm more interested in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Ace Combat 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I agree 100%. Ace Combat 7 is a badass game, dude. That is a game that didn't disappoint. Death Stranding, yes. Which is crazy because like
they came out pretty close to each other.
Whenever I was like, I mean, I always acknowledged that Ace Combat 4 was like an extremely good game, and I love that game so much.
Yeah.
Played it a ton, beat it probably about 4 or 5 times.
Which one?
Ace Combat 4.
Okay.
Came out around the same. It came out around the same time. It probably came out the same year as Metal Gear Solid 2. I think it probably came out just a couple of months before, actually.
Yeah.
And you know, I remember. You know, the thing is, I never in a million years would have thought that like. Because, you know, as much as I loved Ace Combat 4, or just the Ace Combat series in general, I bought 1, 2, and 3 before that. But like, I never thought that I would like actually consider Ace Combat like, you know, as a better property than something Kojima was working on.
Yeah.
Like, but now here I am, like, you know, 25 years later, and I'm like, oh yeah, give me Ace Combat 8 any day of the week over Death Stranding 2 or anything Kojima's working on. OD, fucking Fizzant. I don't give a fucking shit.
Like
this guy,
Yeah.
man,
Kojima
dude, Death Stranding was such a fucking turd that it literally made me just dismiss everything that this guy is going to do moving forward.
Yeah. Especially since like everything that he's shown with all of his projects have been fucking nothing.
Yeah, no, and the interviews too.
Yeah, they've literally done.
We're an Avengers of directors. We're all about the directors now.
We're all artists, and we're gonna fucking direct.
We're auteurs.
We're gonna put these actors in it, and we're gonna put this.
We are directors and auteurs, and these are the Avengers of our directors, and these are the games that we're gonna be making. And yeah, I'm just like, dude, what even is this,
like,
dude?
fucking literally,
like, where's the game? You're
Yeah.
literally showing OD to the world. And you're literally just showing freaking
Jordan
some
Peele.
girl like screaming in the camera, and that's your demo.
Wait,
like,
was it-
like, dude, hey, newsflash, Kojima, everybody's able to do lifelike freaking characters now.
I know.
Like,
Everybody has access to meta humans or whatever.
yeah,
the fuck he's
exactly.
using. Yeah.
Even people that don't have any money.
Yeah.
So like, your shtick is up. Make something good, you dumb fucking idiot.
Yeah, we're in the era now where like none of that shit matters. It's
Yeah.
like people really truly
It's already been
only
like 6 months since
especially fucking like Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They don't really respond well to like anything kind of phony and shit.
Yeah.
They want to fucking see something that actually has merit. They're just fucking like
Substance.
this is the real deal. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? They don't want to see some like fucking Hollywood ass fucking thing where it's just like, oh yeah, we got these fucking actors. Like, who cares? Like, we're not even really into actors. We want to just see like emotion, like, you know, like emotional characters that are fucking portrayed in a fucking like good fucking story. You know,
Yeah.
like, and
well, think about this Alien Romulus movie that we just saw today.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no actors in there that I even knew. And the guy that directed this movie directed another movie that I don't know. Dude, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen any of the director's movies. Haven't seen these actors in anything else. I just walked into this movie, didn't know shit about any of these people. And they put together a freaking really good movie.
Saw a funny image where like there's like a photo of like the entire of the like the cast of that movie, and the caption was I wish I had my phone on me and to be able to show you guys this photo, but like it's a you know, and the caption is Nickelodeon show filmed in 2007, and it just fit because like each of the actors look like, you know, like they just have that certain look where they look like they belong in that sort of like, you know, in that space.
And this is what movie?
Alien Romulus, the cast of the
Oh, you mean just like them like outside of their costumes and shit?
no,
Like
no, they're just like kind of. I think they're taking a photo of themselves. I think on the set, they're just kind of posing for the camera, like, oh, we're shooting.
oh yeah, they're young. They are young.
But it's like the caption was like, it's the cast of Nickelodeon,
2007.
2007. It's like,
Weird.
it just fits because
Yeah,
they just have
I
that
can kind
look.
of see that. I mean, it is like, yeah, the thing is the characters in this movie, they are young. They're in their like 20s and shit. And so it's different from the other Alien movies in that way, where you like in the first
Yeah,
movie, they're obviously
there's
in
a
their
really
30s and
good
40s.
reason for them all being in their 20s, though.
Mm.
But I don't know. The thing is, like, apparently, like this movie is doing extremely well.
I mean,
Yeah.
we literally saw it
Twice.
about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and then we went to today was the last day it was showing in IMAX. So I wanted to take my mom to go see it.
Yeah.
She's like a pretty big Alien fan.
Oh,
saw,
is she?
saw the first one in the theaters back in the day.
Oh shit!
And
Badass.
you know, she was just, you know, she's seen all of them, and she's seen more of them than I have actually. So we wanted to take her to go see it, and like, dude, the fucking
Actually,
theater, the
she
theater
like
was
watched
still,
all the Alien movies like marathon before we watched this one today.
yeah,
so.
dude, and we went to the theater and it was full. It was a full
That's
ass
actually
fucking theater
really fucking
today.
cool, dude.
It's been 2 weeks and they're still bringing in the box office, dude. I'm like, damn, okay, so
Shit, man. I mean, if I happen to have some free time, we ought to watch that movie.
you want to
Yeah,
go see it?
I'll watch it again.
Well-
Well, we're not gonna be able to see it in IMAX, but who cares? I don't mind.
We'll go see an XD.
Yeah,
They have an XD over there at the Hollywood Cinemark now, over there
Yeah.
in Pasadena.
You're gonna watch it in RAR?
RAR?
Yeah, dude. RAWR in RAR.
What?
I don't know what you're fucking talking
XD because the XD.
Oh, that's stupid.
How old are you guys?
about.
Goddamn.
Everybody's gonna get that, dude.
Maybe.
Oh, because I'm too old. Probably, actually.
Yeah, our audience is 20
Zoomers are. you know.
Our audience is made up of Nickelodeon 2007 years. Yeah.
Anyway, we're kind of getting off topic. Well, how do we start talking about Alien?
I don't know. We should probably just wrap it up. I mean, we've already been going for almost 2 hours.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's actually been 2 hours and 6 minutes.
all right. So, I hope you enjoyed our episode today. We enjoyed filming it and recording it audio. And I hope you enjoy our new lights we got. What do you think about those nifty things, Brian? Oh wait, shit, they're kind of like messed up
They're messed up. What do you
on the
mean?
camera. Yeah, this camera's kind of whack.
All right. Well, here they are. I don't know if you can see them. Can you see them over here?
Yeah, move it over a little bit.
I can see him pretty
here?
good.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. We probably got to reposition them, right?
Yeah, same here. So you can see our new one. So I have the classic next gen cast that we used from like probably 2009 to 2024.
Yeah, and I
then
have
our-
I have the new Next Gen Cast logo over here. This kind of represents our our new kind of take on the channel, like rebranding of the channel into more of like a Metal Gear channel. I know that a lot of our episodes before have been more geared towards kind of like just the overall gaming industry, which we still cover, but I think it's more of a Metal Gear channel, really.
Yeah.
Now that they're reestablishing the franchise, so we're going to kind of move forward with covering a lot of Metal Gear news updates. So that's kind of why we went with the new logo. But yeah,
Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. And
Eong out.
you got to stop doing that, dude.
all right, dude. See y'all later.
All right.